Welcome back, everyone, to another spooky episode of Battle School Dropouts. I'm Stew, and joining me is Bakari.
Hi, I'm Bakari. I don't have any sound effects this time. I had a rattle last year, and I don't.
Yeah, I brought the voice, but
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Not spooky right now.
Yeah, it's hard to think. I'm not very creative. I was like, ooh, I can do something different. There's got to be other Halloween stuff and zombie sounds. I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just not that kind of podcast. We're not Welcome to Night Vale or whatever that's called.
Oh shit! Yeah, maybe we got to do like a way overproduced intro.
Yeah, and then we can go to DashCon.
There we go.
Fuck the anime. I need my time in the ball pit.
I need my time in the ball pit, exactly. Well, welcome to a Halloween episode. Mm-hmm. Depending on when this comes out, either this is interrupting the Hajime no Ippo episode, or it's after that and none of this matters. But.
Yeah, it's either episode 16 or 17. But hopefully you're listening to, or hopefully it's up in October. That's the key point. Yeah. Hopefully it comes up before Halloween or on Halloween. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, and it's the whole reason this is all like weirdly delayed, and part of the reason why the last episode came out a little bit late too is that we've been dealing with the scariest thing.
Yeah, we've had some real personal news. Sora was added to Smash Bros. Today.
Yeah.
And that's a really big deal. Of course, I've had to take off time from work in 2 weeks. And,
we've been talking about this for about the last 2 weeks, pretty much nonstop.
Pretty much.
That we've been suspecting that this is going to happen.
And now it's dropped.
Yeah, and as the official Kingdom Hearts podcast of the internet, this is pretty exciting news.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we always knew it would happen, right? Sakurai wouldn't let us down, because if he did, we'd burn his house down. So
absolutely, yeah. He knows that the gamers would come for him.
Exactly.
So they're just adding Sora, right? We're not getting like Donald or anything like that.
In fact, they so they added his stage, like it seems like it kind of shapeshifts through multiple stuff. They have taken out anything Disney related.
That's funny.
Like there's a part where Sora where Donald and Goofy, like their heads show up next to Sora and Riku and Kairi. Sora, Riku, and Kairi are still there, and then Donald and Goofy are replaced by like a star fruit, the Palpu fruit, and a raft, I think, which are important to Kingdom Hearts 1.
Right.
The only Disney thing that remains is the keychain on Sora's Keyblade still has the Mickey Mouse like logo on it, the little emblem.
Yeah, that would have been like, what could they have even changed it to, like Cloud or something?
They probably could have just taken it out, and like not many people would have noticed. But like they make when they announce Sora, like the trailer, that's the first thing you see of him. Like Mario picks up a thing that turns out to be the Keyblade, and as he throws it, because he throws it for some reason, it does like a slow-mo zoom in, and you see that it's got the Kingdom keychain on it, and then you're like, oh fuck, it's Sora, and then Sora shows up properly and beats the shit out of everybody, because that's what every new Smash character does.
Yeah. I saw people talking about like some of his moveset and combos is very reminiscent of Bayonetta from the previous game, who was like busted. So it'll be interesting to see if the like Sora needs to get banned is a conversation that comes up.
I mean, they didn't ban Bayonetta in Smash 4. And
I heard they did in Spain. I'll keep bringing up that factoid.
Yeah.
I heard they did it in Spain.
Yeah, because Spain's a bunch of weaklings. That's why they are never going to have a 40-year war. That's right.
Yeah.
Unless they already had one. I don't know world history at all.
Oh, there's a good chance they did.
Quite possible. But anyway, Meta Knight in Brawl was banned, but Bayonetta for the most part was not banned in Smash 4. And like, unless Sora is like game-breakingly impossible to beat, he probably won't be banned. And it is my extreme hope that they make Sora incredibly busted and never patch the game again, so that fucking anyone who plays in a Smash Bros tournament has to play Sora if they want a realistic chance of winning, and everybody hates it.
No, I think that'd be great to just have like tournaments that are entirely Sora based.
Exactly. Yeah. And everybody's booing, nobody's happy.
Yeah.
The players get pissed and they just stand around like that Evo Grand Finals.
Yeah, that's just Smash Brothers. That's all I know about it.
I don't want anybody playing Smash Bros to be happy. I love Smash. I don't know why I'm like this. I'm just mean. I don't know.
Well, you're part of the fighting game community, and I feel like the fighting game community at large is like very hostile towards Smash Brothers, like just as like a joke for the most part.
I don't think a lot of them are joking.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What I mean to say is like it's almost like a meme. Like you're expected to dunk on them.
That's
they
part
smell
of the culture.
bad.
Yeah.
They have baby controllers. They don't do combos. Things like that.
That's very true. Yeah, I mean, there are Smash combos. They just really they're weird. Like you don't when you do a combo in Street Fighter, regardless of anything else, like if you land that first hit and you know the timing for the next hit, you get it. But in Smash, there's like if it's the wrong character, or if they're at the wrong percentage, or if you're on the wrong stage or the wrong part of the stage or whatever, then things can go horribly wrong. It's very inconsistent, which I think kind of adds a level of skill to it. But yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like speedruns that have a little bit of random chance and whatnot. Like I think those are typically a bit more exciting to see than like ones where it's just like, okay, I'm just going to execute this thing where I walk into a wall and I clip through it and now I can walk past this entire level. Like it's cool that you're able to beat the game in like a couple minutes, but like I don't know, that's pretty consistent.
Yeah, give me that random chance. I mean, I just want that slot machine experience wherever I go. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what have you been up to lately?
Well, that's the only personal news, really. It's just the Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it's weird that like we really focused exclusively on Kingdom Hearts and nothing else happened in our lives.
Absolutely nothing
that
for the last.
Was crazy or weird or really unexpected.
Yeah,
that really like locked us down.
Yeah. That's why we haven't gone anywhere in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Because of Smash Bros.
Yeah, we were on Smash Bros. Quarantine.
That's right.
Yeah.
We also got COVID. We both got COVID-19, both of us.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, and our girlfriends, all four of us. I know it's a little more complicated than that, but like it's very likely that I was the culprit, like because I got symptoms first. And we're all vaccinated, all four of us. And I knocked us all out in the span of 3 days. Nobody is safe. When Bakari's sick, everybody is sick. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, it was funny too because like we had SAC Anime like a couple weeks before we started showing symptoms. So it's like my girlfriend and I are surrounded by like thousands of people.
Yeah.
Come back totally fine.
Yeah.
The four of us, like you, me, and our girlfriends, have like basically dinner together in our kitchen, and then like a few days later we're all out.
We're just all done. Yeah.
It's a weird fucking disease. Yeah. How did it, like, how bad was it for you?
The worst it got was like, you ever been like just had like a really bad flu, you know? Like, you're just like not quite delirious, but like, you know, just like your head's kind of swimming. I just hit myself in the face. Your head's kind of swimming and like you can't really get out of bed and you just like coughing and just feel gross and stuff. That was the worst it got.
Yeah.
I mean, like it was shitty, don't get me wrong, but like it at no point did I feel like my life was in danger. I was just kind of like, this fucking sucks. And then that was the end of it. How about you?
Yeah, it was about the same. I actually didn't think to tell my mom because it was so bad, but I called my aunt because she is a nurse and like I was having like some sinus issues, so I was like, well, I should ask somebody.
Yeah.
I called her, not my mom, and so my mom calls and like, what the come on.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't too bad. The weirdest thing was like it was like the flu, and so like when I get the flu I usually like or like a similar sickness, I usually sweat a lot, and I've never been so sweaty from a disease in my entire life. Like I remember I was super sweaty. Like I took off my shirt like to change out of it because it was just soaked through.
Yeah.
I took a shower, like cleaned off, and then like 15 minutes later I was soaked again. I was like, what is going on? Like I was, and otherwise, like I don't know, I remember on that day, otherwise I felt completely fine. I just couldn't stop sweating. And I remember like trying to take this like at-home COVID test to figure out like, okay, do I really have it or am I just really sweaty today?
Oh yeah.
And just like having to keep wiping off my arms so like I could grab things and not contaminate it. I'm like, what the fuck? It felt like I was sweating on a level of like, I had just been like running for like 5 miles.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Was it like a cold sweat for you? Because I had like a similar thing.
No, it was normal sweat.
Like you felt like you were hot.
Yeah.
Because my thing was like I was similarly sweaty. Just talking about sweating. That's what we're doing this episode. I was really sweaty, but like I had a pretty high fever. I think I got like close to 103 at some point. At one point, like it's pretty bad. And like I was like cold constantly. I was sweating, but I was like also very cold. And I'm like wrapped up in the blankets and stuff. And my girlfriend Felicia walks in and she's just like, "It is like a fucking sauna in here." And I'm just like, I do not turn on a fan. I cannot.
Yeah, I can't handle it. Absolutely. Yeah, I usually like. I don't know if this is like what you should do or whatever, but like when I get cold, like, or when I get sick like that and I start sweating, I just cover myself in more and more blankets. I'm like, let's just heat this thing out. Like, let's just burn it out. Yeah. And I remember I woke up on like the second day after getting it and just like, oh, there we go. I sweat through all my blankets, but I feel pretty good.
Yeah. It was the first, like, for me, I think it was like the first 2 or 3 days were like the worst. And then it was like, I'm sick and I'm going to stay home and I got nothing else to do. And my work is nice enough to get anybody who gets COVID there. Actually, we all have 2 weeks of PTO in case you get COVID or something like that. So you got your recovery time built in separate from your regular PTO. So like I would just send HR a message. I was like, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Here's my positive test later. And then, so like first week was like actually really rough. Like this really sucks. And the second week was like, just fucking sleeping constantly and kind of just hanging, which wasn't so bad. Honestly.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, but like I very quickly was like, I have to get away from YouTube. Like I got so like I watched YouTube for like 24 hours the first day, and the next day I was like, I'm done. I hate YouTube. It's so boring. Nothing is good. I didn't want to watch. I've been watching Sopranos. I didn't want to watch that because that show's like heavy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I already have a potentially deadly virus in me. Like I need something a little light.
You know, the funny thing is my COVID show, like I picked this up, like, and I haven't finished it just yet, but I watched an assload of episodes. I watched a bunch of Kaiji, which is an anime about a guy who's like super in debt and basically plays death games. It's a little bit like Squid Game, but also not really at all. That's just the hot button thing. Yeah, it's an anime where like just a bunch of desperate losers get together and they're like, they get these invitations to go play these games, these like gambling games, and then it's like, oh yeah, if you win, you get bajillions of yen and all your problems are solved, and if you lose, you are sold into slavery, and you just gotta deal. So yeah, I was delirious and half awake and just watching Kaiji nonstop, just like, oh, this is sick. He's probably gonna fucking die this episode. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a shock coming from the guy who loves Yu-Gi-Oh, but I really like those kind of like gamble shows.
Yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh's. I forgot how dark Yu-Gi-Oh gets sometimes.
Yeah, there's that, and there's another one that's on Netflix that I can't remember the name, but it's like this school that's all about gambling.
Oh, it's an anime?
Yeah. There's also a live action version that came out later.
Kakegurui.
Yeah.
I have not watched it.
Oh, it's super good.
I had this.
At least the first season is. That's as far as I got.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. You're the expert. It looks like, not to say that it is, but it looks a little hentai-ish at certain points.
Yeah.
That main lady with the long black hair, she makes some hentai faces.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. Like, I think that's like it's a very like sexually charged show. But it's like it really focuses on the faces a lot, and it like makes them look super weird.
Yeah.
Almost like it didn't bring it up today. We're talking about Paranoia Agent.
Oh yeah.
And there's a bunch of weird, like, you know, like how they do the weird close-ups in that show.
Yeah.
It's like constantly in Kakegurui.
Yeah.
So.
That's what it seems like. I had this. I haven't worked there in a few years, so I can say this. I had this awful coworker, and he was into anime, and he found out that I was into anime. Yeah, exactly. Awful people, exactly. He found out I was into anime, and so he'd, like, whatever he was watching, he'd tell me about it, and then every time he saw me afterwards, he'd be like, "Hey, did you watch that?" Like he'd watch like Food Wars, and he'd be like, "Hey, have you watched Food Wars?" It was like, I mean, yeah, I've watched some. He's like, are you watching it? I'm like, no. And he goes like, you should, and this is why. And so like he got into Kakegurui, and then at one point he was following me to my desk, like in a completely different room, and telling me about a scene where they're playing, I don't know, Go Fish or whatever, and like if the main lady loses, she has to like take off all her clothes or something like that. Like, I don't remember this. And I was sitting next to like this obviously very like conservative middle-aged lady, and this fucking guy is walking behind me going like, yeah, and if she loses at this card game, she's got to take off all of her clothes. It's a sick anime, bro. You should watch it. And I'm like, I wanted to die.
I'm just here. Yeah. It's weird when you have pervy coworkers.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm associated with this now.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, because I don't have the gumption to be like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
Like I've never done that to a person.
Yeah, like that was the closest I've gotten to that, like in a long time. I think I did the office talk version of it. It was like, yeah, well, I got a lot of things to catch up on, so I'll talk to you later. And like then he, wandered off. But like it was truly an awful experience. So like once I get past that psychological hurdle, I'll probably give that a go. I'm into the death game stuff nowadays.
Yeah. Everybody's talking about Squid Game right now, which I haven't seen.
I've watched a couple episodes. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like I don't 100% understand yet why it's gotten so fucking huge. Like it's on track to be the most watched Netflix show ever.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was like, for some reason, if you make a pretty well put together Korean thing about how capitalism is bad, people go nuts for it. This is this and Parasite, I guess. It's 2 for 2.
Well, the capitalism stuff must be terrible. It's
yeah,
a bummer that the Koreans have to deal with that.
I think those Koreans are up to something. Yeah, they're on to something, not up to something. It's completely different.
No, what are they doing over there?
Don't trust them. So yeah, what have, other than that, have you been getting into any games, anything like that?
Well,
lately?
I want to ask you, how do you feel about Gears of War? Because that was like
right,
like I feel like took up most of our week last week, where we're like, well, we both feel fine. You want to we can't go anywhere. You want to hang out?
Yeah.
And I don't know what brain cancer I have, but I was like, I want to play Gears of War. Bakari, you want to play Gears of War? And we played the whole trilogy, basically. I mean, not quite back to back, but we'd play a game all day, take a break for a day, next day. All right, let's play through Gears 2 now.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty much every other day was play through an entire Gears of War game. I've been so conflicted since then, because I played when Gears of War 1 first came out, I went to my friend's house and we played a few hours of it, mostly versus and stuff like that. It's just like us running around the map and shooting at each other. And I played a little bit of 2 when it came out, the first couple chapters or something. So I was going in not super well versed. And now that I know everything about the first 3 games, I don't really know what to think about it. At times I was like, this is pretty fun. And at other times I was like, this is the worst video game ever made. It was a very interesting experience. Yeah,
I want to say it's peaks and valleys, but it's really just pretty good, and then sometimes just into the valley. It never ascended to a level where I was like, this is the greatest game I've ever played.
Yeah, no. There was one part in Gears of War 3 where everything else had been passable for me. It was that was fun. I like shooting things in games, so that was neat. But there was one part in Gears of War 3 where I was like, that was actually really great. I can't remember which part it was.
Me neither.
2 was definitely the low point for me. Towards the end of 2, I was getting philosophical about how much I fucking hated Gears of War. I was like, I hate everything about this game. I hate everything about Epic Games. I hate everything about Cliff Bleszinski. Fuck everyone who was involved in making this game a reality.
Yeah, because it's weird, because I feel like Gears 1 and 3 don't have great pacing, but it's good. Whereas 2 just dragged on for ages. I remember it being 8 o'clock, and I'm like, we got to be close to the end.
Yeah.
And then it was past 10, and I was like, can this game just end, please?
It about 2 hours out from the end of Gears of War 2, it stops being a regular third person cover shooter and starts being you ever played the Jurassic Park arcade game where you sit in the chair and it's the T-Rex is chasing you, shoot the T-Rex, and then the next part it's oh no, giant bugs, and it just kind of goes shoot at that thing, and then you do it. It's good job, you're great, and it just keeps doing that. That's how I felt about the last 2 hours of Gears of War. It's we're gonna beat the bad guy, and then the bad guy shows up, and they're it goes shoot him, and you do it, and it's great. Oh no, the building's falling. Run out of the building, and then you do that, and it's just constantly. I felt like an infant. I felt like a very stupid little baby playing that game.
Well, it's got so many vehicle sections for some reason, and they're just awful. The fight against Scourge is I'm gonna throw up. Where it's you're on those flying mosquito things.
Oh god, it was so long.
And he's chasing you, but he's going through these tunnels, and it just wouldn't fucking end.
At no point did I really felt like we were in danger of losing either.
Yeah.
I felt like if I just kind of put the controller down, then he would just keep flying there until eventually we got bored and shot him.
Yeah.
I think we died once on that for like one quick time event style thing. It's like, shoot him right now where you die, and then we didn't, and it's like, better luck next time.
Yeah, but it's weird because it's like it's almost like a potato chip game or something. Like it's like when you were like, well, now that we beat the trilogy, you want to play Gears 4? I was like going into it, I was like, yeah, we'll just play this trilogy and then I can write it off or whatever. And I'm like, yes, I want to play Gears 4. Like, it's like asking me, like, do you want McDonald's? It's like, I shouldn't, but yeah, I want McDonald's.
No, it's junk food is a very good way to like describe that kind of thing. And like, you know, having come out on the end of all three, and like, you should know, I don't finish shit. Like, you know, how people keep doing those, like, you know, there's a lot of people on Twitter who do like, you know, the whole thread of like media that I consumed in 2021 or whatever. I don't do that because I don't finish shit. I finish so very few games. I finish so very few movies, shows, whatever. But I finished 3 Gears of War games.
3 Gears of War games.
And so it's like, well, sunk cost fallacy's kicking in hardcore. We gotta finish. And they're on Game Pass.
Yeah.
We don't even have to pay more money. Yeah. We're already there.
We're set on
so
that
fuck
one.
it.
It's gonna, like, I'm tempted to play it with mouse and keyboard and just really just wreck that game.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. 100%.
Like, like, it's so funny. Like, I'm not great at shooters, but like, I play mouse and keyboard most of the time when I play because I play on PC.
Sure.
And I can, against like NPCs, I can fucking wreck face.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You put a controller in my hand, it's like I've never played a video game before. Like, it was embarrassing. Like Gears of War expects you to be accurate. Like, you get the sniper rifle and it wants headshots.
Yeah.
And those enemies are like juking. They're like flipping around like they're like trying very hard on a basketball court.
Yeah.
It's like, how am I supposed to do this?
And it's for the record, the enemies are not trying to dodge you. They just their pathing just sucks. They don't know how to handle the challenge of walking around an obstacle. So they just kind of spin around in place and do all this terrible shit.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it is very much like trying to hit somebody trying to juke you constantly. They're just not trying to.
Yeah. It's like they pop in and out of cover like instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in number 3, like, they make it so that if you pick up an ammo box, it doesn't refill your sniper rifle. Sniper ammo is precious. And also, if you do not have pinpoint accuracy against these things that are literally impossible for a human to predict, then it doesn't do shit. You might as well be shooting a pistol at their leg.
Yeah.
You know, which I mean would hurt a person, but these are, you know,
they don't give a shit.
Yeah. They don't care. They don't give a shit.
You pump bullets into these guys. They're just like, yeah, I gotta take cover though. So
yeah. God, 1
I'll
and 2, like 1 and 2, 1 especially, like it took like 2 clips to kill a single guy, like a normal guy.
I'm so fucking. It's weird how bullet spongy those guys are.
Yeah,
but it does make the chainsaw a lot more satisfying.
That's true.
Like hunting down a guy, it's like normally this guy would take forever for me to kill.
Yeah,
time to fuck him up.
Except then he turns around and like pokes you once, and then you're not able to use your melee attack for the next 20 seconds, and you're just sitting there like, oh no, what do I do? And then he punches you and you die.
It's so weird too, because it's like, it's not just that you can't use the chainsaw, it's like the melee button becomes a button that stun locks you.
Yeah.
Like, I've never played a game that like you can stun lock yourself like that.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, there's like some shooters or whatever where like if you try to shoot while you're out of ammo, then it go like click, click, and then the character looks at their gun like, what's going on? I've never had this happen before. You know, like it's punishing you for not being aware of your ammo capacity. It's like that, but for a melee button. It's like, stupid, you can't melee right now because you got shot yesterday. So, idiot, die now. And then you do.
Yeah. And then somebody takes a shotgun and you turn into Jibs, and that's it.
It's like...
Ugh.
These little meat
great
pellets.
Game though.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, I played through. So we played through that, and then I also beat all the Halo games on Legend. Like, I shouldn't say all the original 3 Halo games on Legendary.
The ones that matter.
Yeah, and then I'm most of the way through the Mass Effect trilogy at this point. Well, I'm just living through like the Xbox life right now.
The Xbox greatest hits, or Xbox 360 greatest hits.
Yeah, like I just have to start playing like Modern Warfare, and then I'm good. I don't know what other big games from Xbox 360 era there was.
Cameo, the launch title.
Oh yeah,
about that lady who could turn into creatures.
Yeah. Kung Fu Panda.
Oh yeah, Kung Fu Panda. That
was
important.
a big one.
Yeah, got to get that gamer score.
Yeah.
Get it for free, might as well.
Yeah.
I can't even think of any other Xbox 360 games.
I spent like years with that console, and the only other one I can think of is Halo 4, which is not really that different from Halo 1 through 3, I guess.
Was 4 on the 360?
It was.
Oh,
yeah,
crazy. I thought that came out like a bit later.
No, I remember it because it was a big deal when it came out for me and my friends, because I had just started getting into Xbox Live, so my friend Ben, who's like super into Xbox Live, like years previous, he got me into Reach. So we started playing Reach, and then 4 came out. We were all in line like at midnight to pick up the game. It was like a big old thing. And then we played Halo 4 online like every night for months.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it was
sick.
sick.
Like a good time.
Yeah.
There was like one other Xbox. I think it was an Xbox exclusive. It was like an indie Metroidvania game. But it's like 2.5D, you know, and it's like this guy in like a lab. It's called like Quantum something.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Not at all.
Fuck.
Portal.
I played through the whole thing. Like I beat that shitty Super Metroid knockoff. I can't remember what it's called now. Hey there, it's Bakari from the future. I'm editing the podcast currently. I don't have my pop filter right now. I apologize, but the game was called Shadow Complex. It was also developed by Epic Games. I didn't actually know that at the time of recording, but I'm a little mean about it in this segment. Honestly, that game's fine. I don't remember much about it, but it was fine. Anyway, yeah, back to the podcast. Happy Halloween. It's like a really generic like white dude sci-fi game type of name, like Quantum Destroyer or something.
Well, that was the thing playing through Gears, is like it took us back to that era of like chunky white men fighting their way through people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just like it's like you're in brown landscapes, you've got automatic weapons, time to just mow through loads of enemies.
Yeah, and they all just like say tough guy shit constantly. It's like time to fuck these assholes or something. That's what he says. Time to fuck these assholes.
Time to fuck these assholes.
They say assholes a lot. Like that is their main thing to call the bad guys. Besides grubs and glowies, the racial slurs of that universe.
Such timid racial slurs.
It legitimate like. It's believable to me, if only because I know at one point darky was a thing to call people that look like me.
What? And they could have. I mean, they could have gone real bad with it. Like there was an enemy called Digger, and if they yelled that one real bad, they could have gone south with it. I'll take glowy.
yeah. I guess they're if say what you will about those big meaty men, they are respectful in some capacities.
Yeah, I don't remember any sort of. I mean, that's. If you can look at Gears of War through like an Independence Day kind of lens, like there is no racial tension really. I mean, there's class division. Dom fucking hates Stranded.
Yeah, which are just homeless people.
Which are just people that aren't able to live in the city. They were just
displaced by this horrible warrior fighting.
Yeah.
And whenever anybody it's the guy in Gears 3 goes like, "Hey, you guys destroyed this whole city. You see those ashes of people just in the street? Those were my friends, my family, my coworkers. You nuked them, you assholes." And then Marcus goes like, "My friend died in battle, and that makes it okay." Brother. Yeah, I lost a brother, and it's Bender the whole fucking time. It's Jake from Adventure Time doing this fucking voice. "I lost a brother, Finn." Yeah.
It's extra fucked up because like they really like they shit on these guys, but like the COG, the coalition of ordered governments.
Nice.
Yeah, I looked it up.
I didn't know there was a meaning behind it, to be honest. I didn't expect it.
So far as I know, they nuked the shit out of the world afterwards. So all these people who are like, I don't want anything to do with COG, fuck those guys. Those are the Stranded. Yeah. They don't want anything to do with the government that partly destroyed the world.
Yeah.
Which is rightfully so. And so as COG guys, you're like, fuck you guys. What, stupid Stranded. What are you doing here?
And I mean,
it's like accidental political commentary.
Yeah. But like, you're on the wrong side of it. They're like, what is it? The Third Amendment? Like, Third Amendment does not exist on Sarah. They're just like, hey, I know we destroyed everything, but we're going to show up here and we're going to ask for supplies and lodging and things. And if you don't give them to us, then you're a piece of shit and we might kill you.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason people help out is because coal it used to be a thrashball player, which was apparently the most important sport ever existing.
Cole is like the Tom Brady of that universe.
Well, he's
everyone's
like,
obsessed.
He's like the LeBron James. Like everyone fucking knows him.
I feel like maybe it's just because I have bad luck with like random interactions with people, but I feel like there's more psychos worshiping Tom Brady than LeBron.
That's
maybe.
fair.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We are not the people to answer this question.
Yeah.
We don't watch either of those sports.
No. But I was at Safeway shortly after, like a couple days after the Super Bowl. And the guy like ringing me up, like while doing so, asks me like, hey, you catch the Super Bowl? And I was like, no, I don't really watch sports. And he goes like, oh, Tom Brady scored this many points. I'm like, cool, man. And he's just like, yeah, that's his X number of he's won more Super Bowls than anybody. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't know how old Tom Brady is, like 50. I don't know, whatever. And he's like, he's 50 years old and still winning Super Bowls, bro. That's nuts. What a legend. I'm like, cool. Give me my fucking beer, please. Like,
this guy just learned who Tom Brady is.
I know. It's like he just did a fucking college essay on the guy or something, and he just needed to share that. And that's not the only random interaction with a stranger I don't care for where Tom Brady comes up in excessive detail for some reason.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good point. I know like two people who have talked about like LeBron James on a larger detail, and they've never really been strangers. So yeah, maybe you're right.
Maybe.
So Coltrane is Tom Brady.
He's the Tom LeBron. He's the Tom LeBron Kobe, may he rest in peace, Michael Jordan. He's every super athlete ever just kind of rolled into one guy.
Well, I mean, this Coltrane runs on whole grain.
That he does. That was the best part of Gears, the Gears trilogy, really, where you find a cardboard cutout of Augustus Cole, and if you press the button, he says the Coltrane runs on whole grain.
Whole grain.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Yeah, no, that was. Like you pushed that button like 8 times.
Yeah,
that was great.
Also, fuck Dom. I hate Dom.
Yeah,
I played as him throughout most of the games, but fuck Dom.
Fuck Dom. Yeah. Well, it's funny too because like I love kind of the tonal shift from 1 to 2, where they're like, okay, guys, we need to make this game bigger and more story intensive.
Yeah.
How do we do that? Let's make one of them sad about their wife.
Yeah.
And that's the only trait any of these characters are going to get.
That's all he gets. And, like, in between being sad about his wife, he's just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, Carmine, who dies in every game except the third one. The first 2 Carmines die, and then the third one pretends to die and then doesn't. Spoilers for Gears of War, I guess.
Yeah, this 10-year-old game.
Yeah, he's 10 years old, yeah. The second Carmine, at one point, Marcus and Dom are complaining about dust or something like that. And he's like, you guys should wear these helmets. They have air filters and you won't actually have to breathe in the dust. Perfectly nice and normal advice.
Yeah.
And Dom makes a very mean joke about how that Carmine's brother died via a headshot from a sniper.
Well, he says, it's like, you guys should wear helmets because they have air filters that filter out this dust. And then Dom just says, yeah, but I wouldn't be able to see snipers. It's like, bruh, that's how that's fucked. You know, like you were there when my brother got shot in the face by a sniper.
And that was an intentional malicious joke. Like Marcus even goes like, easy Tom or something like that right after. Like they both know. And maybe I don't even know if Carmine knows how his brother died, but like he gives them like perfectly nice advice. Hey, this thing I'm wearing, it solves the problem you're complaining about right now. And Dom turns to him and he says, your brother fucking died. He got shot in the head and he died like a goddamn bitch. And it's just, that's it.
It's like if you go to lift something and somebody's like, hey, remember to lift with your knees and not with your back. And you're like, well, at least I have a dad. Like,
exactly.
What the fuck?
Exactly that. It's fucked up. No, that's perfect. That's exactly what it's like. Just perfectly. And then Carmine dies in like the next chapter.
Oh, terrible.
And they don't even care.
They don't care. No.
They watch him get eaten alive and they're just like, all right. And they're just
yeah. Well, and it's funny because I remember in like 2008 or whatever when that game came out, like when that happened, it was like, ooh, that's a sick burn, or ooh, that's a funny joke. And like nowadays, being a little more sensitive to people, it's like, that's fucked, dude. It's like Dom being like, oh, she should, like, oh, your wife died, or Carmine being like, oh, your wife died, she sure wore a helmet. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
That's honestly that would have been divine retribution there if the next Carmine makes a joke about Dom having to shoot his wife.
Yeah. Oh man, what a trilogy!
Yeah. What a time.
Yeah,
it's wonderful games.
Yeah, I'm honestly excited for the fourth one.
Me too. Honestly, I'm like, I need this whole time, like, what's been driving me beyond just like, it's fun to play video games and like hang out on the couch and whatever, is like, I need to know how we got from Gears 1, that like new metal music video of a video game, to the Gears 5 trailer.
Yeah.
Like with the heads turning around and the dramatic music and stuff. Which I didn't know that the sad music was just a thing. Like when Dom eats shit like he should have, and Mad World instrumental starts playing, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm so curious. I got to know.
It's so weird to me. Like Gears of War, this is a Gears of War podcast.
I guess so, yeah.
We spent a lot of time on these games, so I guess it makes sense. Fair. But like I've always felt really, like, especially when I got really into like Metal Gear Rising and like the rule of cool, Gears of War feels really weird to me because it feels like a game that was like, wow, Resident Evil 4 was really fun.
Yeah.
This like crazy, wacky adventure.
Yeah.
Let's take that, but let's have a gun that has a chainsaw on it. Wow, we're going to combine like crazy B-movie stuff with like a chainsaw gun?
That's great.
What's the tone of the game going to be? Very somber, very serious, and very meaty. And it's like, that's what you went for? And it makes it like, I think that's why like the weapon variety also sucks in those three games.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
it does.
They blew their load on the fucking chainsaw gun, and then we're like, what else should we add? And it wasn't until 3 when they really started adding like any guns that were like interesting.
Yeah. And like in Resident Evil 4, all the like, because they have the more or less the same gun archetypes, right? You got your shotgun, you got your sniper rifle, you got your assault rifle, you got blah 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 blah. I mean, it's the same guns in every game, really. But like, Resident Evil 4, those weapons were like fun to use and felt satisfying when you used them. Like when you shot a guy in the chest with the shotgun, and he like flew back or something, you're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he got up afterwards, you're like, hell yeah. And this, like, you walk right up to a guy, shoot him in the face with the shotgun, and he like flinches, and then you got to do it again a couple more times.
He like flinches and then punches you, and you go down.
And then you're just fucking knocked over, and you have to wait for your buddy to come give you a pat on the ass to get back up.
That's my favorite, when you would take a shotgun shell to the chest, and then Marcus comes up to you, walk it off, pussy. Like, whoa.
Gears of War, like, this is a thought I had after, like, I was legit, after number 2, I was just, like, laying in bed staring at the ceiling, like, thinking about how much I hated Gears of War. And, like, the thought I had was, like, Gears of War is, like, a rule of cool game for somebody who like has an idea of cool that I absolutely hate.
That's such a like perfect way of putting it.
Yeah, it's like this person who I would never ever want to be around, I would never be friends with. It's that idea, that person's idea of cool. I'm sorry if anybody out there loves Gears of War. Like if someone who regularly listens to us, like one of our friends is like a big Gears of War fan, we just hasn't come up in conversation. Sorry, but also the thing you really like sucks ass. No, I don't mean that.
Yeah, like. It's funny, like I feel like I have issues with Gears of War, but like I'm excited, like in my brain a year from now I'm like, hey, I remember what profiles we used. We can play it on like insanity mode.
That's
now.
Right. Yeah. Foot fetish
so
Mario.
When we get COVID next year, we're ready.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just that just becomes tradition. Get COVID and play Gears of War.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah. Just like Thanksgiving, you know.
But yeah, I don't know. It was a fun trilogy. It was fun. Like I remember playing the third game and having so much fun and just being like, I hope we're like, that was the first time where I was like, I hope we're not close to the end because I want to keep playing this game.
Yeah, totally. The third one was like actually, it felt fun to play, and I was like, because I like, you know, close to halfway through it, I was like, I don't know if we're gonna get through the whole game today. Like, I'm being honest, like it's like a 10-hour game, and like, you know, I might just call it early and we'll like finish it up tomorrow or something. And like we ended up going all the way through it. Like at no point was I like, I need to stop right now. I was just like, yeah, let's keep going. 2, I was like, again, the last 2 hours are just pain.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 hours were like, we got to be close to the end, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be close to being over.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, we need to defend this air base that you've never heard of. Like, what the fuck is this place?
It was important during the Pendulum Wars.
Yeah. I love how often they bring up the Pendulum Wars and never explain what the Pendulum Wars are.
It's got to be in like the books or something, right?
I looked it up. It's basically just a resource war. It is
between whom?
Between Cog and... Ooh, let's see if I can do it. It was between Cog and Uri, URI, which is like the unified... no, it's UIR. The Unified Independent Republics.
Oh.
I think.
Is it like a
according to
secession
Wikipedia
thing? Like they were...
I don't know. I think they just disagreed, or like they needed... the war was over emulsion, which is their oil in that universe.
Yeah.
And so that was the fight, and then Cog won. And then basically, as soon as that war ended, the Locusts show up.
Right. So. Okay. So the Pendulum War is what causes the Locusts to come out from underground.
No. The emulsion and the Lambit pushes them up. The war is just, it's kind of a... And I get kind of why, like, having read, like, cursory amount on, like, their Wikipedia thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's just a resource war.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a huge thing. But, like, Pendulum War sounds fucking sick.
That's
like,
a cool ass name.
Yeah, like why was it called the Pendulum War? Like, I like when I first heard that when I was like 16, I was like, oh, maybe they were fighting over like time machines or something like that. You know,
that could have been a lot cooler.
And like, no, it was just a resource war basically,
just fighting over oil,
which they should have just called like the resource war of 2099 or something. Like,
yeah. I mean, people are never all that honest about, like, reasons. Well, we're never all that honest about the reasons we fight wars, I find. So, you know, I guess that carries over even onto other planets. Or wherever the fuck Sarah is. I don't know.
Whatever their background is.
Yeah.
I didn't figure that one out.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk that story ain't great.
Yeah.
Or at least the world building of it, I think is not great.
I don't know. I feel like it's the same thing with like Halo and stuff like that. Like Halo's got some deep fucking lore.
So I'm told.
Yeah, and like I've heard some stuff. I've read not a lot. I haven't read the books, but I've read like summaries and things.
I read one of the books. I couldn't tell you a single. The only thing I retained from that is that Spartan armor, Mjolnir armor, is really cool, and Master Chief's first name is John.
There you go.
Probably could have learned that from one of the games. So.
Probably a big thing.
Yeah.
It's the whole like Halo's got like deep lore from what I understand, and like. It becomes really important in 4, but like it's the same thing with Gears to a certain extent. It's like you have really great world building, and it's clear that like the world itself is like really important to the people who created these things.
Yeah.
But your avenue through that world is the most boring characters. Like I love the Master Chief. Don't get me wrong, but he is like to me he's built like Gordon Freeman or something. Like he's a silent protagonist.
Yeah.
Sure, technically he might have some character, but that's not the point. The point is he's a silent protagonist and you're supposed to go through and everybody's supposed to think you're the shit.
Yeah.
And then when it's like, Master Chief, we need you to be sad because your AI waifu is like going ballistic. It's like he doesn't have the emotional range for this one, guys. Like,
but you're sad because your AI waifu is going ballistic or something.
Yeah.
I mean, Cortana is just like a naked hologram lady, and she's been there since you were in middle school, you know?
Yeah. And they really expect you to give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Which, it's funny.
She's in your computer. You could say Cortana to your Windows 10 thing, and you probably disabled it, but you could say Cortana to it, and she'll be like, hey, what you want? You can be like, Google the brownie recipe, and she'll do it.
You know, maybe I'd feel a little more attached, because it was funny playing through the first 3 games because it's like, oh, it's time to care about Cortana.
Yeah.
She's in the first game. Mm-hmm. She disappears about halfway through the second game.
Oh, she does?
Yeah. You have to like put her into a thing, and then you know, Master Chief's like, I promise I'll come get you. She's like, don't make a promise that you can't keep or whatever. So she disappears about halfway through 2, and then shows up again at the end of 3 when you finally rescue her.
That sounds right.
So for about half of the trilogy, she's gone.
Yeah.
And then the 4th game is like, time to be sad about Cortana. Like, I guess.
Yeah, maybe there is like a very well fleshed out world in Gears of War. I didn't get that at all from the games. I did very much like the football thrash ball flashback.
Oh, that's hard.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That Cole has, where he has to plant a bomb, and in his head he's doing it like he's scoring a sick touchdown. He truck sticks a locust at one point. It's great. That's sick. That's cool as hell. The whole game should have looked like that.
That's where 3 really got its shit together, is that everyone is sad about something. And I love it because it's like Marcus is sad that Dom dies, right? That's his brother, you know.
He lost a brother.
Dom is sad that his wife died in the previous game. Everyone is sad about something. I think Cole is sad about football.
Yeah, he misses football.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he misses it's football. It's just the field looks a little different and the ball's a slightly different shape, but it's just football.
Like, we played through a 45-minute level that was all about how much Cole loves thrashball,
and boy does he. That was the most compelling element of that story to me. That is the entire trilogy, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fucking thrashball.
No, it redeems Cole, because I remember when we played the first game, his AI bugged out and would not do anything except yell.
Yeah, he's standing there perfectly still as I'm getting the shit kicked out of me by wretches, and he's just going like, "Coltrane gonna bring the pain, baby, woo!" And I'm just like, "Could you shoot somebody? No,
could you get out of that corner, please?"
Yeah. He's like spinning in circles, like just spinning in place. He's running in face first into the wall, and I'm just dying next to him. He doesn't care.
Time to kill these motherfuckers. It's like, then do it.
Yeah. And then they show him being a badass in cutscenes.
Yeah.
He has that cutscene in 2 where he does all that cool shit when he shows up. He doesn't fucking do shit. Doesn't do a goddamn fucking thing. But in 3, he's cool as hell. So.
He's great. Oh, man.
Gears of War.
Oh, what a great game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if there's any other fun topics you want to talk about. But, otherwise, we can get into Paranoia Agent.
I got one game I want to bring up real quick.
Yeah. It's Gears of War 4.
It's Gears of War 4. I actually played through the whole thing last night.
Fuck.
Yes, I got you. Yeah, just I couldn't stay away any longer. No, I've been playing Melty Blood Type Lumina.
Oh shit!
This game came out.
I'm starting to see it pop up on Twitter.
Yeah. I'm following a bunch. I followed hashtags for this game. That's the first time I've ever done that. Melty Blood Type Lumina is the newest in quite some time, like a entry in the Melty Blood series, which itself is based on the Tsukihime visual novel, which came out in 2000. It's like a hentai game.
But Melty Blood is a fighting game.
Melty Blood is a fighting game. Yes, okay. No hentai in it, to my knowledge. In fact, I started playing Tsukihime because I didn't actually realize it was an H game at the time. I was just like, yeah, visual novel, why not? And then and I played for hours, literal hours, and I think there was one point where someone says something kind of sexual, like in his inner monologue, and that's it.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, when they beat the first big bad guy, like the first big chapter is done, and then the main character Shiki has this moment. He's gone to bed the night after the fight. He's like super exhausted, and he hears a noise. Someone's opened his door and has walked into his room, and he thinks, and you get a multiple choice. It's like, it could be Arcuade, a sexy vampire lady that he has joined up with. It could be Ciel, his classmate, or it could be Akiha, his younger sister. Whichever of the three you pick, it is them. And then you proceed to have a sexual encounter with that person.
Ooh.
Out of fucking nowhere. I was just like, oh, wow, that fight was actually fucking sick. I kind of like this. And then it's like, time to get your dick sucked, buddy. And then it had nothing to do with the plot. It didn't drive the characters forward or anything. It's just like, you did it, and it's time to get that D wet.
That's so fucking funny.
I couldn't go through it. I was just like, I couldn't. But anyway, Melty Blood.
Especially if you pick the younger sister.
Especially if you pick the younger sister. Which, to be fair, I was trying to find a way out of the H scene. Like, if I pick his younger sister, maybe they don't. I'm an idiot. If I pick his younger sister, maybe they don't. And to be fair, Akiha does not have sex with Shiki. Instead, she...
There you go.
Yeah.
That's side incest.
We might have to bleep that. I don't know if we've ever been this explicit on this podcast, but maybe we'll bleep a lot of those words.
Whatever.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, Melty Blood is a fighting game. It's very fast paced and it's just extremely fucking cool at all times. It has me thinking in ways that I don't often think in fighting games. I'm not much of a thinking player to begin with. I'm kind of a caveman, when it comes to fighting games. So, it's just really fucking cool. It has a system, like basically you have a parry. Like if you press the X button on PlayStation, then they'll do like they'll put up a shield, and if the enemy hits it, then it'll do this like big effect, like like flash effect, and then you can counter. But if they get their attack parried, then they can also cancel their attack into a parry. And there's a bunch of different follow-ups that you can do. So at certain points in the match, it just becomes this like anime, like this like Dragon Ball Z-esque fight where you're just like parry, attack, and you're teleporting across the screen and doing all this crazy shit and just like trying to outsmart the other guy in this like crazy rock, paper, scissors thing. And you finally land that hit and get a combo, and it's the coolest shit in the whole world.
That actually kind of fucking rules.
It fucking rules.
How hard is it to get the like initial parry?
It's not hard at all. Like it's basically works like blocking in a fighting game. So if you're standing, then you will block high and mid attacks, but you'll get hit by low attacks. If you're crouching and shielding, then you'll block low and mid attacks, but you'll get hit by high attacks.
Right.
And then if you're in the air, regardless, you'll block it.
Does the game have like regular block?
Yeah. You can just hold back to block like in Street Fighter or any other game, really.
They're just gonna get rid of that shit. Just expect you to parry.
And you can hold the button, and they'll keep the shield up for as long as you want. So like there's no like super precise timing to it or anything.
Oh, okay. So if they attack into the shield, then parry.
Yeah. Then you parry, and like you can counterattack. But if they see that coming, and it's a wide enough window that if you like think that it might be coming, you can react to it. So like you blocking or shielding something does not guarantee you get a counter hit.
That's
like
cool.
It gives you an opportunity to, but if they see that coming, they can do something. Like they can teleport behind you and try to hit you. They can fly through you. Like there's a bunch of different ways that it can play out. And I've been playing the game online just constantly and getting my ass whooped super hard. But it is a lot of fun. I really, really like that game.
I mean, I feel like that's the online experience with fighting games. I mean, at least for me, that's the fighting game experience.
Yeah.
Just in general.
The crazy thing is, like, I just haven't really had the time to like, really grind it out. So like, I've only had a few like online sessions. Spent some time in training mode and stuff like that. But like, I've been watching, like, while I'm working and stuff, I just watch an assload of videos for the character that I play, which is Saber from the Fate Stay Night series. They put her in because it's all by the same Type Moon made all those stories.
I know her from Twitter.
There you go. Yeah, it's King Arthur with an invisible sword, who's also a lady. Spoilers for Fate Stay Night, I guess. That came out in 2006, the anime did. So
yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Anyway,
anything that's 10 years old, like, we just have to get over spoiler warnings for that.
Point. Yeah. It's not a very closely guarded
society. Come on.
But yeah, so I've been watching an assload of like Saber tech videos and stuff like that, just learning like all the frame data and the combos and the mix-ups and all this stuff. So like I go online and I get dumpstered by the dumbest players. But if it does not matter their rank, if another Saber shows up, I have never lost. I have beaten S rank Sabers as a C rank player because I don't know how to play anything else, but I know that character's frame data and I know all the tricks and you cannot pull anything fast on me with Saber. So like I go from playing like an absolute idiot and then I go sicko mode for one game and then I go back to getting my ass beat by everybody.
You got to like learn it seems like you have the capacity to learn everybody's shit. You just have to like work it into your brain there.
Yeah. I mean, if I end up like really taking the time to study the game, like, and this is the first time I've really felt like doing that in quite some time. Even like newer fighting games that have come out, like Guilty Gear Strive, I'm like, this is a lot of fun. I don't really feel like taking this to a tournament. Blood, I want to get good at. Like, I want to be as good as I can be at that game.
Yeah, man. You got to play like anime nerds in hallways.
That's exactly. Yeah. Hallways, bathrooms, doesn't matter. The fucking dumpster areas behind Taco Bell. I'll play Melty Blood with anybody anywhere.
You're just like in a stall and somebody like slides a controller under. It's like, all right, and just open the door and just go for it. You know.
That's my like. There's like I feel like it hasn't happened in a minute. I haven't heard about it happening, but like there's been a few scandals over the years where like a politician gets caught like soliciting a man in the bathroom at like at an airport or something like that, and it's like, you're super homophobic. How could you? But like that's gonna be how I like end up disgraced in the public eye. It's like I show up in a Del Taco bathroom and I'm just like, hey man, I got a laptop and 2 controllers. You trying to play? Just slide a fight stick under the stall.
Yeah, the stranger part is it works for you for the first like 5 times. Yeah. So it's the sixth one that you finally get caught on.
I only get busted when I go like, oh, you play Miyako? Never mind. Give me back my controller. And then they go to the police about it. Yeah.
I've just been kicked out by that Del Taco manager too many times.
Exactly. Yeah.
Completely disgraced.
Got the picture of my face on the wall and everything. Do not let this man order his 2 burritos and a chicken soft taco ever again. I like Del Taco.
I do like Del Taco.
Yeah. It's like the one fast food place that's like still like cheap. You know what I mean? You can walk into Del Taco with like $3 or $4 and be good.
Yeah.
You can't do that at you can't even do that at Taco Bell anymore.
Yeah, and it's fucked up at Taco. Like I still like Taco Bell a lot, but like I feel like I can't get out of there for like I used to go there all the time when I was like 18 and younger too.
Yeah.
And just be like, okay, I've got like $6 in my pocket. Like let's make this happen.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you order one thing and it's $6.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to let me try that quesarito. Oh, that's over $6.
Yeah.
And we're right down the street from the cantina.
Oh God.
And so I don't know if they just charge more or whatever. And like it's good Taco Bell, whatever.
Sure.
But like I went there on like day of, like when they opened, and they had like alcoholic drinks there. I'm like, ooh, time for some fun, and it's so fucking expensive, dude. Taco Bell, you're supposed to be cheap. Where's my cheap beer?
Remember when they had that line of commercials, like the I'm full, like the value menu commercials, and they rolled that out, and you could get your shredded chicken burrito, $1. Get your fucking beefy 5-layer burrito, $1. All those items, those are now like they have meals around those. They like the beefy 5-layer burrito is like $4.
Well,
it's crazy.
Did that shit just like fall out of favor or whatever? Because like. I maybe it's just like the Sacramento foodie thing is like just getting to me, but like I run into so many people these days. Maybe it's just part of getting older too, but like so many people these days who will like spend a good chunk of change on like a meal or whatever.
Sure.
And like that's just become like the norm. And now it's like when you go out to eat, like an entree or whatever is like $13.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think like maybe it's like a gentrification kind of thing or whatever, but like. The crazy thing is, there's not that many like restaurants around here that I would consider like truly good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're fine. Like I'm not saying like there's no good restaurants around here, but like if I'm thinking like I want to go to like a really super quality, just fucking great restaurant, like there's only a couple I can really think of.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And like all the other ones are like I'm gonna pay like $16 at this place, and it's gonna be like. I don't know, Adalberto's quality,
Yeah, or like, or worse, you go to a place that was good, the prices are the same, and then you get the food and it's like, oh, it's shitty.
Yeah,
now. Cool.
It's like cat food. Great.
Oh, great. What the fuck happened? Yeah, but I don't know. That's what I feel like. Like, I wonder if it just like the value menu shit just like fell out of fashion. So they're just like, well, we might as well charge $5 because apparently people don't like spending less than $5.
Yeah. And I mean, shit, the Taco Bell line, the one on Broadway, there is always fucking like it's super packed all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they're still doing just fine. So why not just jack up the prices? I don't know. Maybe that's just living in California these days. Who knows?
God, right?
Never lived anywhere else, really. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels so expensive. I don't know. Well, between that and like our rent going up, or I mean, you moved in here, but like the rent went up like $50 or whatever. I was like, no.
They were trying to raise the rent on us at the old place. I mean, we were leaving, so it was like this doesn't matter. But like, yeah, they were trying to raise the rent there too. Place that the two of us plus our other 2 roommates, like place we lived at before, kicked us out entirely. It kicked us out entirely so that they could split our apartment into 2 or maybe 3, I don't know, some amount of different apartments and make them look shittier and then charge like way more.
It kills me, dude. Like I can't believe how little we paid for rent at one point.
God, it was so nice.
Like moving into the place where we are now, like basically like doubled the rent.
Pretty much. Very close. Goddamn shame.
Yeah. I don't know.
It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do miss value menu stuff. But yeah, you're dead on. Del Taco fucking rules.
Yeah, Del Taco's so great.
I'd get caught playing Melty Blood there. I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, shit. I used to play Monster Hunter at a Taco Bell all the time. You know, it was like if you're in the tables, nobody gives a shit. If you're soliciting people for Melty Blood games in the bathroom, then it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
And let me say, the Melty Blood in the bathroom thing is like a bit of a meme, and people often use that to say that Melty Blood is like not a good game or not a popular game or something. The charm behind that is that Melty players are so down to play anywhere. Like, people who play Melty really fucking love Melty, and I think that's beautiful. So don't let us making that joke make you think that that's, you know, talking shit about Melty Blood. I've not been like, you know, a diehard fan, but like I've liked the games for quite some time, and like it's cool shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm noticing it more on like Twitter and stuff like that. So who knows? It might be played on a TV one day.
One day. I play it on the TV in there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, I got it on PS4 actually. Oh. I'm probably gonna end up double dipping. I'm probably gonna get it on Steam too. I got a problem because they don't have crossplay because Sony's a bunch of bastards.
God damn.
So I might just get it twice.
That's a good sign though.
Yeah. And it's only $50. It's not $60.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you're basically saving money by buying it twice.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I think that's it only makes sense that I buy it twice. Yeah. Because if you buy it once, right, you've saved $10. Mm-hmm. Buy it twice, you've saved $20. So really, if I keep buying Melty Blood, then I just keep saving money.
Once you buy 5 copies, it actually pays for itself.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we're good at economics.
Hey, let me ask you, if you were gonna play the Paranoia agent anime fighting game, what character would you choose?
Ooh, that's really tough. I might play the sleazy guy from the first couple. The journalist, I can't remember his name.
Oh, see, okay, we're gonna have
Kawazu,
a good, close, not like, I don't know what you call like not a mirror match, but like a Ken versus Ryu match. Because I want to play as the sleazy cop.
Oh, the shitty cop. Okay,
cop guy.
They both. Maybe this is generalizing because they're both fat, but like it's they seem like grapplers to me. It's gonna be like a Zangief versus T-Hawk kind of deal. You know. Yeah, I'm into that.
I love it. Well, you want to get into Paranoia Agent here?
Let's do it.
Okay. So it's our Halloween episode. Mm-hmm. We were struggling a bit to figure out what horror anime we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And Paranoia Agent isn't the scariest of anime, but it's definitely, you know, it's got some thriller moments. It's got some tense scenes.
I would call it a psychological thriller, drama, something like that. Definitely not as horror adjacent as a lot of other anime out there. Like, you know, because my initial thoughts were like, you know, kind of darker stuff. Like we could watch Tokyo Ghoul, we could watch Another, we could watch Higurashi, something like that. Like, you know, more upfront horror stuff. But like, one, none of those would be very good, like, you know, 6-episode conversations. And 2, the Paranoia Agent fucking kicks ass. Paranoia Agent is so fucking good.
Absolutely does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say one thing before we get into Paranoia Agent. I listened back to the Junji Ito episode. I have a lot of very nitpicky things about that thing, but at one point, this has always bugged me, and I just want to say, I don't want to like apologize, but just say like how nitpicky I got on that episode. Like, I'm aware, and that like I had this part where I was talking about like they need to hide the monster and they need to like, you know, they show too much in the show. Junji Ito does not shy away from showing his monsters and his stuff.
No.
He does not hide a ton of stuff in shadows. He's like, I'm going to draw this spooky, weird monster, and it's going to be full front and center.
Yeah.
And it rules. I was getting nitpicky. I think I was just making generic horror trope issue comments. So, yeah, hopefully I don't hit that same level of Paranoia Agent, which it should be easier because whereas we didn't like Junji Ito, Paranoia Agent rules.
I mean, yeah, and they also really fuck up by showing Lil Slugger like full front and center, like in the theme song. So
bad show. Actually,
terrible horror anime. Paranoia Agent. And there's like, you know, there's while maybe the act of showing the monster isn't necessarily like where that show falls. Like it's that Junji Ito does better than most in like showing a monster and having it being like, oh fuck, like this is like really scary. And like, say take the end of like Cloverfield, where you finally see the Cloverfield monster that you've been watching it terrorize the city for a whole, you know, the whole movie, and then finally you see it at the end. When you see it at the end, it's like, Yep, it's a monster. There it is. Oh, great. Okay,
yep.
He eats the guy. Crazy. But like when Junji Ito like shows his like big bad, like it's this big fucking like it's this big deal. Like you turn the page and there's that big super detailed spread of it. Like it's crazy. Junji Ito collection anime. What was it called?
Ooh, Junji Ito
series.
The Junji Ito series.
The Junji Ito show.
Starring Junji Ito.
Japanese Goosebumps. Inverse from the joke we made a long time ago. It's Junji Ito being or R.L. Stine being the American Junji. Anyway. What was I saying? The problem there is that like they don't really put a lot of like care into it seems. So like when they show the big bad, it's like, there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
It's just kind of there.
Yeah.
So that was the problem I had with it anyway. So
yeah,
but I get where you're coming from.
I don't change what I said. It's just I listened back and I was like, this is borderline like cringy what I'm saying in a couple spots. So I just wanted to either clear the air or get everybody to go listen to that episode and be like, wow, yeah, Stew was stupid. So
that's kind of the nature of like something I didn't realize like came with the job of being a podcaster. We've made 0 cents off of this, believe me. But it's something that came with the territory, I guess, is like saying stuff off the cuff. Like usually we've been like having some beers and we're just joking around, just like, that's what we do. And then like, you listen back and you're like, I shouldn't have said that. Like,
yeah,
I probably shouldn't have wished for the president's death on the Space Brothers episode. Like, I don't take it back, but I acknowledge that maybe it's not the smartest thing for me to do is wish for the president's death in public. I don't apologize.
Because fuck that guy.
Yeah, because fuck him.
Yeah.
And you know what? If he dies, c'est la vie. But, like, I shouldn't have actively wished for it. So, we all make mistakes.
Yeah. It's part of the fun, right? Yeah. And I can't wait to hide the first 20 episodes of Battle School Dropouts for when we finally make it.
That legit, like there are podcasts that I listen to where like, if you sign up on the Patreon, you can listen to their first 30 episodes that they've taken down out of shame because they were so bad. I'm so ready to get to that point where it's like, yeah, these ones, they have to go in the trash vault because they're really bad.
Yeah, well, we finally got decent mics, so... Everything's going in the trash vault.
That might be the cutoff. Yeah, actually, it's a very. What a way to what a place to end is X-Arm. That's where we.
Yeah, that's where you got to jump in. Yeah. Okay, well let's talk about Paranoia Agent.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, I got into this show through. There's YouTuber that's huge. He hasn't done stuff in forever, but. Every frame is a painting.
Yeah.
Or every frame's a painting.
Every frame a painting.
Yeah. There you go. Great YouTube, great video essays and all that. But he has an episode on Satoshi Kon, who is the director of this show, and it really got me into like this show and like what makes this show so great, because it's not just like a thriller with like a fun story. Like it's got really good style to it. The editing's really sharp. Spoiler, this show's great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is like we were talking about it earlier. I think this is like up there with the best stuff we've watched on the like. I think kind of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken is the only thing in its like caliber. Yeah, personally.
Yeah, well, and I'll just say here, like if this, like I think everybody kind of knows Paranoia Agent. I feel like a lot of people haven't. Like I haven't finished Paranoia Agent.
Episode 8. You gotta watch episode 8. Like if you drop this after, it doesn't sound like you're gonna. If you drop the show later, doesn't matter. Watch episode 8.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, sorry.
Well, yeah, and all that to say is like this is hopefully like a wake up call for any anime fans out there. Like if you haven't seen Paranoia Agent, like you're listening to us, go jump on that show.
Yeah. Satoshi Kon like was a master animator. Like, there's a lot of stuff that like, because I've also seen that the Every Frame a Painting and also all of Paranoia Agent, and like there's a lot of like just kind of subtle stuff he does like throughout the course of like just the visuals of like any sort of ordinary scene like has so much more weight and impact to me like than than one could ever really expect. Like, you don't expect the image of like a random person standing on a train to like, you know, evoke the level of feeling that it does. But like, he just, every single scene for me like has something like that.
Yeah,
it's a masterclass in animation, and I'm saying this as someone who knows jack shit about animation.
Well, it's a combination too of like the way that he like pairs things together too. Like the editing is super strong. A lot of like the framing of shots and things like that are like, there's a lot of like weird close-ups and things.
Yeah.
And like those kind of make you uncomfortable, but they're paired with further away shots that kind of like help set the scene, set the tone. Like there's the detective guy who loves yelling, and sometimes when he's getting really intense, the camera moves right in on his face, and it's in a way that you couldn't do
practically.
Yeah, and it's in a way that you couldn't do live action and have it be comfortable.
Yeah,
right? Like if you move the camera so that it's just my face, like you're doing something really weird there, but it works within the style of the show.
Yeah, no, Paranoia Agent is one of those series is like, it is better in every way for having been animated rather than live action.
Yeah,
you could not pull off any, and that's the true for like any of. Like, we had Paprika, and then we got Inception. And not to say that Inception's a garbage movie, but one of them definitely held up way better than the other one. Fat phobia aside.
No, yeah. Paprika is really great. The obvious comparison with this one is Perfect Blue, which is also just absolutely excellent. I love all of his movies.
Yeah.
You know, we almost did Tokyo Godfather last Christmas or something.
That's right, yeah.
And I rewatched it as just in case, and I was like, oh, this is also still really great.
I need to watch that again. Like, I watched it for the episode that we didn't end up doing on it. Because, though, I did really like the Christmas episode grab bag that we ended up doing. Yeah.
And we're doing it again.
Yep. It's upon us. It's right around the corner. Right after that Thanksgiving episode.
Ooh. You know? I love, God, there's so many great Thanksgiving animes out there.
Love it. I can't even think of one for the joke here. Like, there's
I looked it up. There really isn't.
Yeah. the Fate Stay Night spinoff, where one of the people in the Holy Grail War summons Captain Miles Standish as his William Bradford Squanto.
We're in too deep. Yeah. I don't even know where we are.
I said my history knowledge is bad, but there was a really shitty animated VHS of the story. Air quotes, big air quotes, the story of Thanksgiving told from an extremely kind view towards
European settlers.
But my parents made that a tradition to watch that every year until the VHS mysteriously went missing. I had nothing to do with it, but someone must have gotten rid of that thing. So I know a bastardized version of that story very well. But
that's funny.
Yeah, that's like the only history I know because I've just watched that terrible fucking cartoon so many times.
That's so funny that your family has we're gonna actually this is what Thanksgiving, like my family. If I asked them on Thanksgiving what's Thanksgiving, they would be like, oh, it's Pilgrims and Native Americans eating together.
Yeah, and
that's it. That's the end of it. We watch football, we eat food, and we just get fat.
Yeah,
that's all we do.
Yeah.
That's
but we had
wild to me.
We had one extra tradition on top of that. It's because I don't watch sports. My my family extra doesn't watch sports. I'm the second most normal person in my family, I think, and that's saying a lot. So the Thanksgiving Day parade and the football game has never made an appearance in my family's house. But we did make sure to watch that terrible fucking cartoon every goddamn year.
Funny.
It was from a series of it was from a Mormon animation studio. They did a bunch of Mormon adaptations of Mormon stories from the Book of Mormon, like the story of Nephi and Lehi and what was his name, Layman. A bunch of other ones.
I don't know shit about Mormonism.
And then they did a bunch. Well, let me tell you about Lamanites a little later.
Please.
But then they also did U.S. history stuff. They had one on Thomas Edison, the Wright brothers, Ben Franklin, and it was all from weren't these guys great? These guys fucking rule, right? They're so fucking sick, dude. Anyway, that kind of thing. Thomas Edison was a good guy in the Thomas Edison one.
That's so funny, especially in the post Tesla's the coolest guy age,
which that died real fast. Thanks, Elon Musk.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. We all know how I feel about you. But yeah, Where were we going?
I think we were talking about anime at one point.
I think we were talking about anime at one point. Yeah. Paranoia Agent rules. Yeah. I'm excited for the Christmas episode. But yeah, it's not a super like, oh my God, like throw this on Halloween because you're gonna get terrified.
No,
but it's definitely like it fits the season and all that.
It's not scary, but it's stressful, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and it's kind of like thought provoking too, because so we're gonna talk about the first 6 episodes. So spoilers for the first 6 episodes.
Yep.
There's a like it doesn't seem like the deepest, but like there's something going on with like the little slugger / shonen bat hitting people, and then all of a sudden they feel better afterwards.
Yeah.
And so like there's that aspect to it. So there's kind of like this like supernatural but also regular, like, is it supernatural, is it not, kind of aspect going on. Like it's making you think the whole time.
Yeah, he's got this like Spectre-esque vibe to him, and it's like, as you said, like he shows up and he attacks somebody, smacks you with his baseball bat. But the thing is, these are all people who are going through some like really not only difficult and like, you know, just like really fucking like tragic shit, but also stuff that's like hella complicated. Like the Tsukiko is trying to create a new mascot for this company, even though she already made like their version of Hello Kitty, like this wildly popular and successful mascot. Like she's trying to do it again. There's like all these characters that are like going through some crazy shit, and that you can't just like, you know, wish away or like, you know, hard work your way through. And then all of a sudden, this punk-ass kid on roller skates with a bat shows up, whacks you on the noggin, and nobody cares about all that stuff. You can't expect Tsukiko to make her next fucking Hello Kitty character because she just got attacked by this psycho. So, like, her problems go away. Like, every single time, they replace their, like, you know, the real-life problems that they're embroiled with. They take that and they replace it with like, I got attacked, I'm a victim, and let's blame this guy. You know, he makes this really simple specter, this really simple image to like look at, and like fear and hate and everything else that they're dealing with kind of takes a back seat to that.
Yeah, well, and it's more than that too, because you have in episode 3, you have the character with like split personality. And it's, I don't know if it changes in the future episodes, but it seems like when she got hit by the baseball bat, the other personality went away.
Yeah.
So it's not just like oh, wow, you've really made my life a lot more convenient. It's also like, I have relieved something that is like mentally causing you stress.
That's a good point. I've been doing some light Googling on DID, dissociative identity disorder, aka split multiple personality disorder. And first off, like, want to acknowledge, much like things like depression and schizophrenia and ADHD and stuff like that, there's a lot of like the public consciousness is kind of learning more about DID, like, you know, as we get a little more educated on it, and like, you know, it's not as simple as like, this guy's normal and then he's a serial killer, but like so this might be like a slightly outdated portrayal of it, perhaps, but a common understanding of DID is that like a lot of the time it acts as a basically a coping mechanism for things that are going on. Like if say, I can't remember her name, I always forget it, but the lady with DID in the show, like if she feels like she's like, you know, doesn't have control, or like she's not able to express herself, like, you know, that other personality that comes out in her like system is the word, I guess, but that other personality, the alter that comes out, is like a way to like circumvent that. I'm not this person anymore, so I can go ahead and do that thing. Yeah. So like maybe that plays in, like, you know, the other problems have gone away, so she's able, like, she doesn't have to have that coping mechanism anymore. Who knows? But yeah, it does kind of seem like there's something magical going on there. Yeah. Or supernatural.
Supernatural. Yeah. And it's really like, yeah, it's super. By the way, all the DID stuff, I don't know shit about it.
Yeah,
I knew was I saw the movie Split one time. So no, that's super interesting.
Not even for any sort of ethical reason. I just like, aside from James McAvoy having like excellent acting chops, like that movie was not good.
What? I thought it was okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I liked it. I think I had a good time.
We'll have to do a Split and Glass episode.
Oh, no, hold on. I didn't watch Glass.
You didn't watch Glass?
I did not hear good things about Glass.
Okay, so that might be where our, because I was like fine. I was like, that was a neat James McAvoy acting reel, and then I saw Glass, and I was like, fuck everything here. This sucks.
Yeah, maybe that's what'll break me there.
Maybe, but
maybe I'm unbreakable. Who knows?
Maybe you are. I mean, I haven't seen you die in a train crash. So,
yeah.
Hey.
There you go.
But the funny thing is, the reason I started doing this, like these Googling on, I hate calling it research because I'm not researching anything. I'm just Googling and like, oh, there we go. All right, moving on. But like,
learning.
Yeah, we're learning something. The reason I've started doing a little bit of learning on it is because like I found out about this trend of like teenagers basically faking very serious mental illnesses for TikTok videos.
Yeah.
So I found out about that, and I was like, I guess I need to learn some more things about this, just so I can be educated about this, because it seems like it's going to continue because TikTok's an insane place. As a 30-year-old, TikTok is terrifying to me.
I hate TikTok so much. I started watching some, because I try not to be too judgmental about new things and all that, but like, and I personally haven't come across any of the mental disorder faking ones, but I've seen people point them out and whatnot. Ooh, but yeah, no, TikTok's a hellscape. It's either somebody just releasing basically the same video over and over, or a really entertaining and fun video where somebody is reacting to it, so they just put their face over it and they're like, whoa, oh, that's crazy, whoa, and like you're blocking most of the video, dude.
That's the most frustrating, like that's one of the most frustrating types of, like, this is not about to become the two old men bitch about TikTok podcast, but
back in my day,
but back in 2006 YouTube,
in a corner.
Back before YouTube was widescreen.
Listen, everything was wrong after they got rid of the 10-minute limit.
Just truly. We used to like good productive members of society, we would upload episodes of anime in 3 parts per episode. You'd watch Yu Yu Hakusho episode 42 part 2 with in 240p with the fucking terrible yellow subtitles that were translated by some 19-year-old from Atlanta, Georgia, and you'd love it. What was I saying? TikTok, like, it's a big platform that's particularly popular with kids, and kids are kind of insane. They've always been insane. It's just teenagers scare the living shit out of me. It happens. But I feel like the ability to have like access to all the other terrifying teens have made all the teens like more like able to be freer and more creative with how insane they are.
Yeah.
So all this is to say, I'm never going to get on TikTok. I'm just going to suffer the extended reverberations through Twitter and YouTube and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Twitter and YouTube are basically just becoming TikTok at this point.
They really are.
It's just those videos over and over.
They're all TikTok videos.
Yeah, that's why I started watching TikTok, because I'm like, I'm already watching TikTok.
No, yeah, 100%.
Hop on there, and honestly, it was too concentrated. Like, I need that filter. I need Twitter to kind of like, okay, let's not just show him every TikTok.
Get rid of all that, because like some of those TikTok trends are very unsettling.
Yeah,
it's very, very unsettling.
Yeah, the mental. I saw somebody talking about like there's this person who like was faking having Tourette's.
I saw that video. Yeah,
yeah, and like that's fucking shitty.
That's what started me down that rabbit hole, I think. Did Tim send you a link to that YouTuber?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
fucking Tim.
Tim.
Once he gets back from Japan, I'll give him one of these and a couple of those. But yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the episode's Paranoia agent, which I guess, not to derail what I almost just getting on track, but like, let's talk about that opening theme.
So good.
It is. So I heard this at like an anime panel. So now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't actually know if it's true, but basically it's a loud theme song. Like it starts off with basically a man yelling,
pretty much.
And the idea was that it would come on at 11 p.m. at like whatever local Japan time.
Yeah.
So to wake people up and get them to watch it, you would blare this really loud theme song super late at night.
I don't know if that's true, but like I love that idea.
Yeah.
And like having listened to a lot, the composer for this and most of Satoshi Kon's works is Susumu Hirasawa. Also did the 90s Berserk anime soundtrack, everything except the opening and ending themes, I believe.
So he did the Guts theme, right?
He did the Guts theme. So if you're familiar with that, like, it's that guy. It's the same thing. So nailed that shit.
That was actually pretty good. I'm impressed.
Thank you. But yeah, he's like a pretty talented vocalist and also a great composer. And like a lot of the time, it seems like he'll just write an instrument part and then be like, I'm not going to play this on an instrument, and then just kind of yell it. And I think that, like, it's singing, obviously, like he's hitting all the notes and stuff like that, but there is like a yelling quality to it. Like he's really belting that shit out.
Yeah, like it could have been a guitar or something.
Yeah, it totally could have.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Well, and I think lending credence to the theory that it was loud so that they could wake people up. You like the ending theme has people asleep like on a thing. It's very calm. It's almost lullaby-esque. So it's like okay, we woke you up. You watched our show. You can go back to bed.
Go back to sleep. That's so good. I love that idea.
I think that's what's going on.
No, I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
Like we have nothing to substantiate it, but it's true to me. As far that's solipsism, baby. That's just we believe it to be true. Thus it is until someone proves it's wrong.
Yeah. But great theme song.
Wonderful.
Like, I think sometimes we skip theme songs when we watch the shows together.
Yeah.
And like I think we watched it every single time.
Totally. It's like it's really this and it was this and what the fuck is it called? Jujutsu Kaisen, where it was like never skip a single theme song.
Yeah, well, and that one, man, when Jujutsu Kaisen changed the theme song,
broke my heart.
Okay, when Jujutsu Kaisen when they changed the theme song and they didn't use the theme song during a fight scene, really docked some points from that show.
Yeah, I was like, when I heard that theme song to begin with, I was like, the end of the season where he fights somebody and the theme song kicks in, it's going to be transcendent.
And I've watched I think I'm like I haven't seen like 3 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh,
like,
okay.
That night after we recorded, I watched more Jujutsu Kaisen. Like I loved it.
Yeah.
When they got to the fight where the theme song should have played, I like heard it in my head, and then I heard the music that was playing. I'm like, that's not the theme song, and it just made me madder. Especially after watching Hajime no Ippo, where they used the theme song. That made me love the theme song of Hajime no Ippo so much more.
I love that theme. That theme song's so good. The roll and go one.
Oh, it's so good. I thought it was a little bit silly up until they used it in the show during like a training montage, right. And I'm like, no, great, perfect. Yeah, and that's. I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen's a perfect anime, other than those couple things.
Yeah, so. Tokyo Ghoul has like a really, really great theme song, and that one did do that perfectly. So I was just like. Like, I don't know, like, I felt like after seeing that moment, like, where there's this, like, just dope-ass fight scene, and then the theme song kicks in at the perfect time, like, I thought after that episode came out, I was like, that's the blueprint. Like, we never, ever have to worry about how to do this again. Anyone directing a shonen anime can be like, hey, remember episode 26 or whatever of Tokyo Ghoul? Yeah, do it exactly like that, and it'll always work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with the Jujutsu Kaisen theme song, because it fucking rules.
Yeah, because it's an absolute fucking banger.
Yeah.
Because like you could argue, because I don't think Yu Yu Hakusho ever did it, and Yu Yu Hakusho, one of like the greatest battle anime ever. It's like that theme song, I don't feel like quite works with the fight scene necessarily. Like maybe once you've won, but like it's not heavy enough.
No.
Jujutsu Kaisen, ooh, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it goes like it's got this really like, you know, like forward momentum kind of vibe to it, but like it's not like angry or sad or anything. Like it's still got this kind of upbeat vibe. It gets you pumped. Like it gets me pumped in a way that Sonic music does, and that's like the highest praise I can give to like anything.
Yeah, well,
you know, that Sonic mention in.
And to Paranoia Agent's credit, that they have, I don't think they ever play the theme during the show, but there's like a reprise version of it.
Yes,
that they play a couple times, and it's like, wow, this works really well for a theme song that's. Your first instinct is, this is too loud, I need to turn down my TV.
They do that with the ending theme a couple times too. Like there's a couple different arrangements of that. Yeah.
I hadn't really even thought about that. Yeah.
No, like I've literally just like sat and listened to the Paranoia Agent soundtrack. Like I'm a big fan of that composer. So yeah,
it's good. I can't blame you. I'll probably do the same now.
Yeah, no, there's all of his soundtracks are great. He's got like albums. He has like albums of music that he made specifically just to release the music. So like listen to Susumu Hirasawa. He is incredibly great. That's my plug.
That's your plug. Yeah. That's it. That's plugs.
I will send him my invoice shortly.
Yeah, no, he owes us now. Yeah, we did what we said.
Yeah,
we would.
Still waiting on the Rap Snacks check.
I know.
Yeah,
those fuckers. Okay, so let's talk about episode 1.
Right.
So each episode kind of up until like 6. Kind of deals with like a different character.
Yeah.
And the first one follows, I can't remember her name.
Her name is Tsukiko Sagi.
Sagi, yeah. I remember Sagi. So she's like a character designer for she, like you said earlier, she basically made the Hello Kitty of that world.
Yeah. Though they show of course
Maromi,
thank you. Of course I can't remember the simple character name. They show Maromi in a Sega UFO catcher arcade machine, which would imply, I think, that he would be owned by their parallel universe version of Sega. So one could say that Maromi is that world's Sonic the Hedgehog.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maromi is absolutely adorable and only gets cuter the more the show goes on for some reason. Like, I kind of went from like, oh, well, that's a cute little plush thing to like, I was looking it up on eBay. Like,
it gets cuter. Like, it kind of gets cuter the more like deranged it gets. Yeah. Like when the first time it comes to life and it like it's picking itself up and it doesn't really have bones, so it's kind of like squishing against it, and its like head is too heavy to like lift up properly. Yeah. So it's like head is kind of squished. Like everything it does that is otherwise would be kind of unsettling, I find just the cutest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Beanie Baby that's lost some beans.
Yeah, kind of. It's
like it's well loved.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's kind of the vibe I get from Sagi throughout the show, but especially in that first episode is like Maromi feels like it was lightning in a bottle, but it was also something that was really important to her.
Yeah.
Because she carries that little doll everywhere, and I imagine it was like she had Maromi for like ages before she actually like pitched Maromi as like a character.
Oh, you think so?
That's
you think
that's
she
my
had her
thought.
Own doll.
Yeah, like growing up, she had Maromi.
Maybe.
And that's why when Maromi starts talking, that's why she's just like, yeah, no big deal. Oh. Because like that doll's been talking to her for ages.
That's it. I didn't have that angle on it, but I kind of like it. That's cool.
That's my thinking. Yeah. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I've only seen the first 6 episodes.
Sure.
But that's my thing. It really feels like something that was like, and that's why she's having a hard time replicating that lightning in the bottle.
Yeah.
Or at least the way I see it is because she had this character for like 10, 20 years or whatever. And now she has to make another one.
Totally.
Like, within the span of like a year. You know? Yeah.
They definitely show started that sentence and then fucking forgot where I was. Oh, they definitely show that Maromi's been around for like years. Like it's like, it's her greatest work and he's been around for a while. And I guess for me, like as someone who like when making music and stuff like that, a lot of the time I'll make something that I really like and then I'll be like, okay, I'm good for a minute. And then I'll like play some video games and do whatever, take a little bit of a break, practice piano, whatever, but like not write something for a while. And when it finally comes time, like, okay, I want to write something new, I go like, how did I ever even make that?
Yeah.
Like, how am I ever going to make something that compares to this thing I've already made? Like, that was like a practically completely different person than I am now. And like, so for me, like, it was like, Tsukiko is like sitting there trying to one up her magnum opus by Monday. Like and literally her boss or whatever goes like, hey, they're asking about that new design. Can you have it on my desk by Monday? Like, she has to do it right the fuck now, and is obviously dealing with some writer's block or creator artist block on the side.
Yeah, and I like that whole first episode because it feels very relatable, where it's like you have to create something great in the span of like what is maybe 4 days, and then when like she feels uncomfortable and she's running and she skids her knee and she drops all of her stuff and she rips her shirt, it's like, fuck, I've been there.
Really going through it. Yeah, just everything going wrong.
Oh, that's so rough. And then you get hit in the face by a kid with a baseball bat.
Yeah. Well, she got hit in the leg by the kid with the baseball bat. Yeah, I guess she dodged or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's I didn't realize that when I watched that episode. They bring it up later that she gets hit in the leg.
Yeah, they're not super clear about it before, but they do show.
Yeah, like I didn't know until like episode 6 or something. Like I thought she got hit in the face.
Yeah, because she's got the crutch and stuff like that, and her leg is all bandaged up.
That makes sense. Yeah. I thought she was just wobbly from getting hit. Okay.
Oh, sure, maybe.
No, that makes because they definitely later episodes they're like you got hit in the leg.
Yeah,
and it's interesting because the other characters I believe got hit in the face.
Yeah, I think all of them did.
And there's the detective who's like, I don't know if she really, if she did get hit or if this is just a convenient thing for her.
And he's on that trail from the very beginning. Like he smells something's up like from the word go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the detective pair. I like old detective and young detective.
Me too. Yeah.
Like we say in almost every episode, fuck cops.
Fuck cops.
But I always love the buddy cop dynamic where you have the young by the books trying new things guy and the old grizzled veteran. Yeah. And now they have to work together. It's that's going to be the perfect combination even in a post-cop world. I'm still going to love buddy cop movies after cops are done.
Very true. Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. Those two are a great pair. I mean, like we say, fuck cops, but it's fictional universe, and this is a fictional universe where these two cops in particular are okay. Some other cops not so great, but
they're trying to catch a guy who's hitting people in the face with a baseball bat,
and that's
their primary job. We never see them do anything bad.
They don't even
we
write
see
a
other cops
ticket.
do bad things, so presumably our cops are the good cops.
It's just a few bad apples.
Just a few bad apples. Yeah. I like the first episode a lot.
Yeah,
I really like her character. I love Moromi.
Yeah, Moromi's just a cute ass fucking man. And like I said it while we were watching, but in a show you wouldn't really expect to need a mascot. It's not the kind of show where you expect to see this. Cowboy Bebop has Ein. There's a lot of anime where they have their little guy. TTGL has Buta and stuff. Yeah. But in this, it's just you didn't need to have an adorable thing, but goddamn, you fucking nailed it.
Yeah, it's funny too because I feel like Moromi's design is not inherently super cute, but it's also the way it's presented in the show.
Yeah,
there's all these times where Moromi is looking at things, and there's a part. It's a really quick cut, but where Sagi gets startled by the old woman going through trash.
Oh yeah,
and as she jumps back, you actually. It's only maybe 6 frames, so maybe I'm reading too into it. But it looks like Moromi gets scared too. And
really?
Back. Yeah,
I never noticed that.
And it's just a coincidental thing of she's jumping back, so the bag is moving back, so obviously Moromi's moving back. But the way that shot is kind of works, it feels like Moromi's whoa. And it gives Moromi just that little bit of character before Moromi even starts talking.
Yeah.
And then Moromi's got the cutest little voice.
He does. So. He's a cute little rascal.
Yeah.
Just want one.
I'm getting one.
You are?
It's going to happen. If I have more beers, it's happening tonight. You got any other thoughts on episode 1, or you want to move on to the second one there?
I really like... I really like Kawazu, the journalist guy who kind of creeps on her.
Left out a huge character.
Yeah, he's this just real piece of shit journalist. He starts harassing Tsukiko after the attack because she's made the news and stuff, and he's just continually just a real fucking piece of shit.
Yeah,
and he does unconscionable stuff, but I kind of love him. He's got that sort of lovable scumbag energy as most Joe Pesci characters,
Yeah. Well, the scene where he's having dessert lunch with Sagi.
Yeah.
And he's reading the notes that her coworkers who hate her are saying about her.
Yeah.
And it's a really great scene, but it's that extra little bit of style where he covers his mouth so you the audience can't see it, and the voice actor becomes one of the women.
Yeah.
It's that's such a good thing. You could have just had him read it and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
It would have still worked. But that extra little touch.
He's doing these from diegetically, he's doing these spot on impressions of these women to the point where we see their eye makeup and stuff on him and whatnot.
And Sagi's able to recognize who is saying what about her.
Yeah.
Which is super depressing.
It's super. Yeah, that sucks. Like not only the fact that they're saying all that awful stuff, but the fact that Tsukiko's like, she obviously knows, and she's like obviously kind of at peace with it. Like obviously not happy about the situation, but she's just like, oh, that's this one person. That's the lady who sits here. You know, she knows exactly what they're saying.
And that's the funny thing, kind of about her character is. It almost feels like the doll has more personality than she does. Like she doesn't say, like, she says just like yes, no, like she's very short sentences and all that. Doesn't even answer a lot of like questions asked to her. But the doll speaks in like full sentences and whatnot. Yeah, you know, when it does speak. So it's interesting like how she's almost more empty than Marumo is, or I said the name.
Maromi.
Thank you. If I'm not looking at the word, I can't say it. It's almost more empty than Maromi. So it's like there's something going on there, stylistically, metaphorically, between the doll and Sagi, like, and their personality.
No, that's a very good point. Yeah, like it's almost as though her personality is like split between herself and the doll, not in a split personality way, but like, you know, the doll is saying stuff for her that she simply cannot, and to her that she's not ready to say to herself.
Well, almost like what you were saying is like it is almost like a
coping mechanism.
Like a coping mechanism.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like she's maybe been through some shit, and the doll is kind of saying what she wants to hear, or feels like she needs to hear. Yeah. Because she doesn't have any sort of companionship outside of that. So
Totally.
You never see anybody at her house, or she never seems to go out with anybody.
Yeah.
So.
No, she's very alone. Yeah, now that you mention it, she doesn't have any friends or family or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. Tough life. Episode 2?
All right, let's do it.
Episode 2, I love. So episode 2 follows. I didn't write down his name. Yuichi, thank you. Yeah, Ichi.
Yeah.
It follows him, who's like the most popular 6th grader in school, and
textbook alpha male, through and through.
Just women love him, boys want to be him, all that jazz.
Best grades, best in sports. He can ride. He can do sick ass tricks on his rollerblades. He's got it all.
Like he does the thing where he smiles and then it does like the glint,
the little twinkle.
The little twinkle. Yeah,
so good.
And it happens a lot, like to the point where it's like definitely like it's like trying to be on the nose. Like,
yeah, totally.
And so it's a great episode because you have this very confident shitbag of a child, and he matches the description that Sagi gives for the person who attacked her.
Yeah.
So he's
a kid on roller skates who plays baseball.
So he's got the bat, he's got the golden roller skates, which Sagi mentioned that the assailant had.
Yeah.
So
really fits the bill.
Yeah. So everybody kind of turns on him.
Yeah.
And it's such a great episode watching this, like just like popular, like the it's almost like the protagonist of the episode is the mean kid from like a Disney original movie.
Yeah, he's the Sharpay Evans of little High School Musical reference. He's the Sharpay Evans of the Paranoia agent world.
Yeah. But it's a lot of fun following it from his perspective. Yeah, you know,
because he's like running for student body president, and there's the other kid whose name I don't remember, Ushiro,
something like that.
Maybe yeah. Anyway, this kid's like, you know, he's very likable, but he's like tubby and like kind of awkward and like weird. And like every time he sees that kid, he just can't fucking stand. Like you get to hear his inner monologue, and this like, you know, totally great kid, like this model, you know, teenager or preteen is like, that fucking fat ass piece of shit. I swear to, if he looks at me one more time, God fucking damn it, you know?
Well, and it's fun because it's like as things spiral out of control for popular kid, for Ichi, it's like he starts to construct this like conspiracy theory narrative around the other kid, and it all matches up. And he's like, "How is he doing this? He's like this perfect mastermind. You know, he's doing all, and then he's trying to be nice to me too. Like, it's so smart." Putting it from like the kid's perspective of like watching the world fall apart.
Totally. And it's like, I mean, Ichi, he's a little shit, but like, you know, he's going through some tough stuff. He just happens to match the profile of like a serial assaulter, which is a lot for a kid to deal with. You know, everybody thinks that you're running around smacking people with a baseball bat. Nobody came to his birthday party, you know, all that stuff. It's real sad for this kid who's used to being like everybody's favorite.
Yeah. Well, and the level of self-confidence that he has with
alpha shit.
Yeah, where he's just like, once I do this, everyone's gonna love me. And it's like, you can't do that. Like, you know, like almost no acceptance for the fact that he's like also a child. Which I feel like a lot of kids have. You know.
I mean. That's what it is, you know?
Yeah. So it's like, it's a funny episode, like literally, because like the first episode is like, ooh, what's this weird psychological thriller show? And this episode's like genuinely funny.
Yeah. And it goes back and forth between that, like stuff that's genuinely stressful and stuff that's like, you know, dark, but like also pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. Well, because like, horror and comedy are kind of like two sides of the same coin, right? Where it's like, you know, you have the setup, you're building up to something scary happen, or you're building up to something that's going to happen, and you need that release, and that release is either a punchline or a scare.
Yeah,
you know?
No, that's a very good point.
But the structure is largely the same.
Yeah.
So I see why a lot of like horror stuff has comedy elements, and why that doesn't always break the movie.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. And there's a lot of horror movies that I watch more to like not necessarily laugh at them but more that they entertain me in a way that a comedy does, more like Evil Dead or something like that, you know, or most of the Saw movies, all the Saw movies, really, stuff like that, like Final Destination, all that shit is like, I like it because it's over the top and kind of stupid, and not because I find them actually scary or particularly thought provoking.
You don't find thought provoking? It's so crazy how he rigged traps for people who did something bad once.
Only the part in Saw 4 where the guy's mouth is sewn shut, and then after he gets out of the trap, he has to like rip it open by just like opening his mouth and goes, and then like it's bleeding out of it. That makes me think, God, that would suck.
Yeah. I mean, that's those movies.
Let's see. God, that would suck, the movie. Yeah. No, that's very true.
They made 8 God, that would suck movies.
The part where Amanda has to dig through the pile of needles. He's got to find a hay and a needle stack or whatever. It's like, that would really suck.
Yeah, that would suck.
I don't like needles either. You know? It's like, I'm not like, I wouldn't say I have a phobia anymore. Used to. But, yeah, that still sucks.
Yeah. I mean,
poking me everywhere.
I have a very low pain tolerance. So anything that's like, you need to cut your arm a little bit so you can like get this little key. If you bleed even a little bit, Stew, you can get out of this thing. I'm like, just kill me. Just have the thing explode my jaw.
Yeah, just do it in a humane, quick, painless way.
I'm not here to suffer.
Yeah, and a lot of them do. They just like, you know, rip your fucking face open. You're done. You're done instantly.
Yeah, the head rip open thing seems pretty quick.
Yeah, or like the
your neck snaps pretty hard.
Totally. Yeah. Or like the helmet thingy that like, you know, just impales your face all at once. Fine, sure. That's whatever. I don't have I've got a pretty decent pain tolerance, I think. You know, I've been into boxing and things before. Like, you know, I've been punched in the face many times. I've paid money to get punched in the face. But when I was younger, I had to do being an overweight kid, what the doctor experience is like, you go into the doctor because you have a cough, and then they tell you that you have diabetes, and you have to go get your blood taken every time you go. So I would go into the doctor. He'd tell me I have diabetes. I'd do a blood test. He tells me I don't. That's just the game. That's how it's played. At one point, I have to go do blood work again, and there is this fucking kaiju of a man. There is just this humongous linebacker, like just the most terrifying dude you can think of, he is the guy taking the blood that time. And I wasn't that scared of the needle. I was terrified of that dude. And I ended up, like, I was screaming. I was trying to get out. There are, like, my mom is trying to hold me down. This guy's getting very agitated because he didn't ask for any of this. He's just doing his job. And, like, I'm just going absolutely fucking ape shit because I don't want that guy anywhere near me with his needle.
That's so weird.
Right? And from that moment, I had a fear of needles. And then I had to go to Africa, or I went to Africa and had to get like a bajillion immunizations. So I got over it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
because I had to get poked by like a million needles. So
I had a similar thing. Let's get into the horror shit. I never had a fear of needles in the slightest up until I was like 18 or so.
Really?
So I would at my school, like I'd gotten shots and stuff. Never really bugged me. And then they had like blood drives and we would give blood because they let us get out of a class.
Yeah.
And so I would go to give blood, and there was one time, I don't know what the deal was. Either I didn't drink enough water or the nurse didn't know what she was doing, but she could not find my veins.
Oh,
and just had to like dig around, and it hurt so bad that now whenever I get a shot or anything, like I got my COVID shot. I got it and it wasn't a big deal.
Same.
But I can't look at them do it. I got it in my left shoulder, and I turned to my right. Like it's I cannot watch the needle go into me anymore.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with that one time. I also had different kind of horror, specifically with my high school food or blood drive. Like this was me like finally this was like the last getting over my fear of needles because I'd gotten shots. But this was my first time since then getting my blood drawn. Actually, second time. The one time before that was the same situation happened, and it was a horrific experience. Anyway, but at the high school blood drive, and I'm like, it's my senior year. It's like my last chance to do it. And I'm like, I got to prove that I'm over this. I got to do it. And so I go and get my blood drawn. Nothing goes wrong. But I get a phone call like a month later, and they're like, hi. This is so-and-so from Blood Source or whoever did it, and we wanted to talk to you about your blood donation. And I was just like, what's wrong? And they were just like, well, there's an issue we have with your blood. And I'm just like, I have HIV. Or something. I have this awful disease I didn't know about, and this is how they're going to break it to me, all because I decided to go get my fucking blood done. It turns out I'm AB positive, which a very small part of the population has, and the only people compatible with my blood type are the people with my blood type, so my blood is virtually useless. I found out. But
like also AB... No, but you guys can take blood from like O and all that.
Universal receiver, I think. But the only people who can get AB positive blood are people with AB positive blood.
Oh, yeah. So just worthless.
Yep. My plasma, however, is very valuable. So I get calls, people trying to get me to sell my plasma to them sometimes. Yeah. Because universal donor for plasma. It's the type O negative of plasma, but it's like very rare blood type.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Snazzy.
Yeah.
I just got regular blood and regular plasma.
Just the regular, yeah. Just peasant plasma.
Just basic shit. I don't have any of that O positive or whatever that works for everybody. I don't have any of that shit.
Is it O negative? I don't know. It's one of those.
I can't even remember what blood type I have. Like if I went to a hospital and they're like, what blood, like we need to get you blood. What kind? I'm like, I don't know. Just what dealer's choice.
The red kind, Yeah. Surprise me.
Oh, the blue blood.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to be a cop. Yeah. Let's see what happens. All right. Well, let's get into episode 3 here.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So episode 2, absolutely excellent. I love all the twists and turns that happen to the kid.
The beginning of episode 3, where there's a sex. There's people are having sex.
People are banging.
People are fucking, and they're loud, and they're in a guy's apartment, and this guy is like a big sweaty nerd. And when they're done, he sits up. The lady goes. She's like, I gotta go shower. While this happens, the guy sits up and he looks at his anime girl figurines and he says, "Good job, everybody. You all did great. I love what you were doing. I love what you were doing." Just the peak Sigma behavior right there. That guy could teach us all a thing or two.
The Weeaboo Sigma grind set.
The Sigma grind set is in full effect right here.
I love
He doesn't even acknowledge her existence after that moment. I'm sorry to cut you off, but oh my God. champion.
That character is so absolutely ridiculous. And I love every time he shows. He showed up. That's like the second time he's shown up.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. He shows up in like episode 2 or 1 or one of those, and he's just kind of around.
Yeah, and God, it's so good. Like whenever like a Twitter thing comes around, like what anime character are you? And people are like posting picture. I'm like, that's me. That's, the big weeaboo with anime figures all over the place.
It's that meme of like the Wojak guy looking at like Kirito or whatever and being like, wow, he's just like me. It's like we're watching Paranoia Agent episode 3. It's like, wow, he's just like me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hold no illusions. I want to be Kuwabara, but I'm not.
I will one day be Netero from Hunter. I will pray and then punch and then pray again.
Yeah, there you go.
What I'm moving towards.
Well, you got to get old enough too.
Yeah. I got to live a couple more centuries.
Yeah, and then you're good.
I got it. Yeah, one of these days.
So this is the episode about like what we were talking about earlier. I didn't write down her name, but she's got basically split personalities between herself, who's like a
Harumi.
Okay. But between Harumi, who's like very mild-mannered, chill kind of person, just kind of wants to live a very like plain life.
She seems very like studious. She works 2 jobs. She's a private tutor for kids, and then also the assistant to a college professor.
Yeah,
just a very she has kind of a normal vibe in the sense like in the same way that like a Shin Megami Tensei character does. Like she's like, I'm normal, but also I'm probably part of a accelerationist doomsday cult or something.
Yeah,
like, she's got kind of like she's a little too unique amongst all these other people who are like, that's just a guy, you know?
Yeah. Well, I like the reveal because we start with her, the other personality, Maria, who's like a prostitute, and so you start with her, and then she takes off the wig, and oh my God, it's the private tutor from the second episode.
Yeah,
what's she doing?
Yeah,
why is she doing this? And then to like kind of slowly, like about halfway through the episode, you're like, oh, they're the same person. Yep. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a cool twist, and I love that their form of communication is leaving messages on each other, like on the answering machine.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. I thought that was a really cool touch.
Because I really like how the first couple minutes it starts off, and Maria's like on her cell phone. It's like, you have one message. How can you keep doing this? And like my assumption was, oh, that must be like her mom or something, like condemning what she's doing.
Yeah.
No, it's her other personality.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's good.
That's rough. Yeah. And like they start like before long, they start really blurring the lines of like who came first, like who is the person and who is the like the alternate, you know, personality kind of thing. And said it before, I want to be very clear, like, you know, there's a lot of information coming out about DID lately, or like people are becoming more aware of it, and this might be an outdated like portrayal of it. We don't mean to you know, step on the toes of anybody or ruffle the feathers of anybody who might know someone who's dealing with this or anything like that. We're just we learn and we grow, and you know, this thing came out in like 2006 or something, so yeah, it is what it is.
And it's interesting because it also like it fits the theme of the show. Like
totally.
You have characters who are kind of disconnected from reality, you know, who they see the world one way, but it turns out things are kind of different than they expected them to be, you know?
Totally.
And not in a like, oh my God, it turns out we were all Lovecraft the whole time. It's like, you know, it's just like, oh, my perception is just wrong.
Yeah.
You know? And hers is like the biggest one where it's like, I don't actually know where I am half the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like there's a lot of moments where like Harumi will like, you know, kind of snap back to reality and realize that until that moment that Maria was the one in control. Yeah. 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 And it gets, I like, oh, and this is just what makes the show so juicy and good is like, there's all these complications. Yeah. Like, you know, there's such different personalities, but Harumi is like going to get married to this very plain guy, and she wants to get married, but obviously the other side being this like prostitute who wants to just like keep doing the prostitution thing, that doesn't match up. And so it's like, oh, I have to tell my soon-to-be husband, but oh, how do I do that? Oh my God, I'm like losing my grip. Like, and like as the two of them kind of
fight each other, it's like, oh, this is so good.
I would like, honestly, like Harumi, I think is like my favorite. Harumi and Maria, the system of the two of them, I think like is probably my favorite. Are my favorite characters of the show.
Yeah.
Or at least from these 6 episodes. It's, again, episode 8's really, really good, but that's neither here nor there. No, it is there. You should watch episode 8. But yeah. Anyway, they're my 2 favorite characters. I would watch a whole series about just the 2 of them. And like, honestly, if I had one complaint about this episode and like as a whole is like, I wish we had gotten like, I wish as juicy as it is, I wanted like more of it. Because like, you know, the episode ends basically them like it's coming to a head. Maria is literally dragging, like, you know, they're both conscious, they're both fighting for control of their body, and Maria's like effectively dragging Harumi through the street, and then they get whacked by Shonen Bat by Will Slugger, and when they wake up, it's just Harumi. Yeah. And it seems like she just stays just Harumi after that.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see in future episodes, like if it's true relief or if it's like just suppressed something temporarily. Yeah. And I have a vibe that it's going to be the latter, but I don't know.
Quite possible.
Yeah, I agree. Talking about this, it really feels like this episode might be my favorite. There's another contender that we'll talk about in a minute, but I think this was the episode where I was like, "Oh shit, this show's like fucking going places." Yeah, like this is heavy.
Totally. Like every episode is like really solid. There's like some standout ones. Like episode 2, like is one of those that like, you know, that stuck with me for a long time because I've watched all. If it wasn't obvious by now, I've watched all of Paranoia Agent before. But like episode 2 is one that stuck out with me, and then episode 10 or 8, like I've said. Great. 3 is the one that like really stuck with me this time. Yeah. Like everything that goes on, like really, I feel like encapsulates what Paranoia Agent is like about to me. You know?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, so fucking good.
Oh, it's so good. So episode 4, I really like the setup to this episode. 3, where it ends with like the Shonen Bat has been caught by an off-duty police officer. Yeah. And then following him with the events that lead up to him catching. That lead up to him catching Shonen Bat. It's like, you know it's coming. When's it gonna happen? Ooh, I love it. Mm-hmm. I really liked episode 4 a lot because, man, this cop sucks.
Yeah, this guy's like just terrible. It's honestly difficult to write a character this fucking unlikable.
It's funny too because it's like, you know, it kind of starts out with like, okay, he's a bad guy, but he's got some redeemable qualities, you know? Almost like your Tony Soprano, Walter White kind of guys where
he's
it's
kind
like,
of a lovable scumbag. Like, he's got a little bit of that Kawazu charm like at the very beginning.
Yeah, like he's a shitty guy, he takes bribes and all that. But we know part of the reason he's doing it is he keeps talking about, I'm doing it for my family. And then you see more, and it's like, well, he's spending a lot of money on like prostitutes and gambling. So I don't really know if he's doing it for his family. And then by episode like 6, it's like, oh no, he just sucks. Yeah. Like I'm struggling to find a redeemable quality about this man.
I don't know that there is one. Yeah. That guy sucks ass. Just fucking terrible.
But he sucks in such an entertaining way too. Like he doesn't like drag the wind out of this episode or anything. It's like, this is great.
No, totally. Yeah, it's definitely like a different angle because like every other I guess like episode protagonist we've followed up until this point has been like in some way or another like likable or at least relatable. Like even though he's a little shit, but like he's we've been
kids before. I was a shitty kid.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, so like even Ichi is like sympathetic and relatable in some way. This guy, and he's just gonna remain shitty cop. I don't have the slightest clue what his name was, but this guy fucking sucks from the bottom up. Like there's nothing likable about this guy by the end of the episode.
Yeah. Other than like how kind of wacky he is.
He is wacky.
Yeah. Not that makes him like somebody I'd want to hang out with, but it definitely makes the episode entertaining. Yeah. You know? And I love how two-faced he is. I love when he's talking to like old grizzled detective and he's like, I'm doing this for my family. I'm just a hard worker. And at the same time, it's cutting to shots of him like hanging out with women who aren't his wife and doing like karaoke and drinking. And in the previous episode, in episode 3, he even sleeps with Maria. Yeah. So, and like has lines and is a part of that episode.
Totally.
So, yeah, it's fucking funny.
Just the worst fucking guy. And he's got this like he's clearly got this like idea of like there is a material list of steps to be a good man. Like he even talks about like, you know, his whole goal is to like finish his life as a good man, you know? Mm-hmm. And they're like, you know, it's very much mimicked in like, you know, or like, you know, the same thing in I would say American culture, like, you know, traditionally. Like we understand the steps one needs to take to be a good, upstanding man and like, you know, member of society. Like you get married at this age and you have a kid and you work your job and you put him through college and blah, 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 you know? And that's like what he's trying to do. And like that house is like the house that he's having built ends up being this kind of symbol of that. I feel he's like, it doesn't matter any of that other shit, the gambling and the prostitutes and whatever. Like that's just all like what he does in his off time. The fact that he is paying for, like, you know, he's supporting his wife and his daughter and he is having this house built, that is proof, like, and a visible sign that he is a good, honest man.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems like on some level he believes that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and that there's a really good pairing between his actions and this movie / manga called A Man's Path or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like the man's path is like this like almost like Fist of the North Star, but like even more like without any style, and he's just like, I'm a man, I'm not gonna listen to threats, I'm gonna beat up bad guys, I'm gonna save the girl. And seeing all these like stereotypically masculine things, and this other guy, this cop, like not basically doing the opposite of those things, but framing it in his own mind through like the way that the whole thing is shot as like, well, I kind of I'm doing these things, you know, it's like he knows he's doing wrong while simultaneously like framing it as a masculine act.
He sees himself as that hero. Like he thinks that he is the guy from A Man's Path.
Yeah. And when he kind of bounces between like, I'm like the super masculine guy, I'm doing the right thing. Oh, but also someone needs to stop me because I know I'm doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know, and he just kind of like can't handle those two things. Again, another character losing grip with reality.
Totally.
You know, living in one world, but reality is kind of something different.
I think in that, so to catch the at-home listener up to speed, the basically he ends up on the wrong side of a loan shark, and they basically tell him, you got to pay us like 2 million yen. No, wait, no, it's 3 million. It's 5 million. It keeps going up.
Yeah.
And he basically resorts to robberies. He like puts on a mask. He puts on like, you know, a different outfit, and he starts robbing people to the point where he's breaking into houses, tying people up and like robbing them and stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually he starts, the loan shark gives him drugs that like, I guess just enable him to be even more unhinged as a robber. And like, and it's then when he starts doing the like, you know, somebody stop me. And in that, it's weird because like, that's obviously where he's like, it's his lowest point. He's like this just really like just fucking at rock bottom. But in that moment, it seems like he's far more aware of what's going on than before, when he was like literally quoting A Man's Path as he's robbing this couple.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's funny too, because it's like he's like, somebody stop me, oh god, I can't believe I'm doing all these things, and he spills the money out and immediately covers it. He's like, somebody stop me, but it's like, you're not making it so that somebody can stop
he wants to make it somebody else's problem. I think like, you know, he himself can't stop himself, so he wants somebody else to, so that like he can start on that path.
That's a good way of putting it. That it's like he wants somebody else to solve the problem that he's created for himself.
And then who comes along but Little Slugger
who hits him but doesn't knock him out.
I had this moment in the next episode when so Little Slugger hits him, doesn't knock him out. Guy pulls off his shoe and just gets this like play of the game, just perfect shot, beans him in the head as he's running, as he's rollerblading away. In the next episode, they have captured Little Slugger and they put his bat down on the desk, and it makes it sound more like it's made out of plastic than it is out of metal. I don't know if that is just a fuck up on the Foley artist's end, or maybe I just misheard it or something. But like, my conspiracy theory, I guess, is like, that's not a metal bat. Like, obviously it's not the same Little Slugger that we've seen in the other stuff, and they like go into that. But like, it seems as though the hit that he took on the head was just a kid playing a prank, you know?
Oh yeah, because that's the whole thing, is like the Little Slugger that we see visually is the same as the one that we've seen in other places. But yeah, so he does get captured at the end of the episode, but the detectives kind of feel like there's evidence that that guy is not the real Little Slugger.
Yeah.
That the real one that's out there, it's a copy of a copy, basically.
Yeah, he's a copycat. They say like he's a shadow of a shadow, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So so it's in, and that whole episode, the 5th episode, is great, but that's a good point. Like, maybe he didn't get hit in the same way that the other people did.
Yeah.
You know? And it's questionable. I mean, it obviously provides some relief or whatever for him, because the loan shark seems to back off for a bit. His life seems okay, but then he also does like lose his house and everything.
He does. I mean, that's, natural disaster. What are you going to do about that? But like in a different way, Lil Slugger does save him in the sense that like he gets to be the hero who captured Lil Slugger, like the person who's been like, committing all these assaults, always scaring everybody, like now he's gone from this like, kind of no name shitty scumbag cop to like, oh, he's a hometown hero. He caught Lil Slugger.
Yeah.
Right. And that makes him too high profile for the loan shark to get. So like he's, off of his tail at that point, I think.
Yeah.
That was my interpretation of it.
I think so. Yeah. Or at the very least, like he's going to wait until later, which again goes into like, are any of the characters truly relieved, or are they just putting off the
Is it a temporary thing?
Yeah.
Eventually, Tsukiko's got to go back to work.
Eventually, is everybody going to suddenly love Ichi,
Well, Ichi's problems seem the most easily solved by Little Slugger, because by getting attacked by Little Slugger, it proves that he himself is not.
Yeah, but you could also have a situation where he gets to school or something, and then it's like, oh, you faked it.
Yeah, quite possible. Quite possible.
So he feels good, but he's still in the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's interesting with all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see more of it.
Yeah.
But let's wrap this up here. So 5 is an absolutely excellent episode.
Yes.
Because it focuses on our two buddy cops teaming up with Lil Slugger to figure out what his whole fucking deal is.
Yeah. So,
and it's like a JRPG episode.
Yeah. This Lil Slugger is what's referred to as Chunibyo. He is a Chuni. It's literally translated as 8th grader syndrome. Basically he if being a teenager or preteen or whatever, being into video games and anime and whatever, we've probably known at least one person who gets a little too lost in the make-believe of it and starts to think themselves as some sort of displaced anime hero. If you've ever been involved in martial arts in any capacity, you've probably met a few of these people. Even though way older. I knew a guy who told me that he could vibrate his fist so fast that when he punched me, it would kill me.
Hell yeah.
I begged him to do it to me. He never did.
Coward.
Real shame.
Yeah.
I was determined to die by this man's fist, and he wouldn't let me. Yeah. Real bummer. It's so fucking funny. I got so many stories. Anyway, so this guy's a Chuni. He's or at least this is how I'm reading it. He is this dork, this guy who's got nothing going on, and basically views all of his everything that he does through the lens of a JRPG protagonist.
Yeah.
And our buddy cops end up having to go along for that ride as they try to get his testimony out of him.
And it's such a perfect buddy cop kind of combo where the younger detective is no, let's go along with this. Let's just see what happens. And in the JRPG becomes one of the characters.
Yeah.
And the grizzled old detective who wants nothing to do with it doesn't, and is tortured tortured in a way through this JRPG adventure, and it's so fucking funny.
It's fucking fantastic.
There's an excellent part where the three of them are flying in on beetles, and the holy warrior Lil Slugger guy is riding on top. The young detective who's here for it is being carried by he's hanging on to the bug. He's there for the adventure.
Yeah.
And the detective who wants nothing to do with it is being carried and is completely slumped.
Yeah.
He wants nothing to do with this bug that's carrying him. And I think that's such it's just one little shot, but it's such a perfect setup for how these three characters are reacting to this situation.
Yeah. It's just it's the visual language of it always tells us, even though we're not hearing the dialogue necessarily, we know exactly where everybody stands.
Yeah.
It's and also I thought it was really interesting So this little slugger that they have arrested, he believes that he is a holy knight, and that he is tasked with defeating Goma, who is some demon king or something like that.
Who possesses people.
Yeah. And that he, as a holy knight, can see that somebody is possessed because they glow with this red aura. And while that's obviously not true, I think that, like, it made sense to me that, like, he would see somebody who's, like, at their wit's end, like, down in the dumps, and, like, believe in his own, like, stupid make-believe world that he's, like, that he has to, like, rid them of that curse. Like, yeah. I don't know exactly, because, like, all of Cone's stuff has some amount of, like, unreliable narrative or narrator a lot of the time. Like, this is no exception. But, like, I think that it's entirely possible that many of the victims, at least it seems as though all of them except Tsukiko, were victims of this guy. Yeah. Like, the copycat has done far more than Lil Slugger himself.
Because when they go through all the stuff too, he talks about hitting people with the baseball bat, except for Sagi.
Yeah.
Tsukiko.
Yeah.
Just skips over her part.
Yeah.
So there's something going on with her.
And I think, yeah. So, like, I think on some level he's, like, intuiting that this person's, like, in a really bad way, and basically sees that as the red aura of Goma, like, possessing them, and goes, like, I gotta whack him on the head with my golden sword. And and they take that as an opportunity to be like, I'm a victim of Lil Slugger, and none of this other, like, all this other stuff doesn't matter right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of a symbiotic relationship in a way.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because they take the relief from it. That's funny. Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like... It's funny watching a good show like this, because I feel like a lot of the times we kind of do, like, recaps of episodes and we just kind of talk about it. It's like, man, we have talked so much about, like, what we think is going on in this show. It's almost enough to make you think that we should watch more stuff like this.
I mean,
we won't, but you know.
I mean, hey, I think we've mentioned the possibility of doing a follow-up episode on an anime. I wouldn't be opposed to doing, and we'll cut this out if we decide this isn't a good idea. But, like, I wouldn't be opposed to doing a follow-up episode on Paranoia Agent, because, like, we could knock out the rest of the 7 episodes in one go, and then just do
that's a good point. There's only 13.
Yeah.
We should do it.
I'm done.
All right. Hell yeah.
There
we go. We figured out another episode.
Perfect.
Okay, so let's talk about the last one. I think that we covered most of the stuff in 5.
I forgot to take notes on 6. So
let's see.
This is one with Did you get her name? The daughter? No.
I never write down the names. But yeah, cop. We realized pretty quick that shitty cop has a daughter, and my first note is, this is wild. And it's basically like his daughter, like, idolizes her dad.
Yeah.
Like, just loves him to bits.
Yeah.
And all that. And turns out shitty cop dad is a massive fucking pervert, more than we thought.
Yeah.
Because there's a weird thing where in previous episodes he wants people to refer to him sexually as daddy. And
I think it's him also who has Maria dress as at one point she's, like, in that it's like a PE uniform. Like,
that was a different guy.
That was a different guy? Okay,
yeah,
never mind then.
But he may have had her in a similar outfit.
Maybe.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But that was a principal. The guy who's like, ooh, let me, like, spank you like one of my students or whatever.
Oh, was it?
Like,
okay.
That guy was like a teacher or
Got
something. Was a different guy. But it does seem like something that the guy would do. So I don't want to make it sound like, no, the cop's a good... No.
But, like...
No, this guy sucks.
Maria does refer to him as daddy.
Earlier
at some point in episode 3.
And he makes it clear he wants to be referred to as daddy.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's made weirder once, because it's not super obvious in the beginning, but once you realize, like, oh, this girl who's on the run, that's his daughter. Oh, but in the flashbacks she loves him. Like, what happened? And then you when you hit that moment, it's just like, well,
because in episode 4, like, when he and the grizzled detective go out for drinks, I think he talks about her. He's like, the grizzled detective goes like, yeah, how's your daughter doing? He's like, yeah, she's good. She's 17, about to graduate high school. And the detective goes like, oh, gosh, been so long since I've seen her. She was just this tall, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's I feel like this was intentional. I think it's because like the daughter is so much a part of his like, you know, being a good man life, and not like mentioned as a part of his like being a gross scumbag, the prostitutes and the gambling and the Yakuza connections and blah blah blah. Yeah. All that stuff. They're separate, but like, you know, if you think about it for a second, a guy with a 17-year-old daughter demanding that the prostitutes that he is, you know, patronizing call him daddy, like that should set off all sorts of red flags to begin with. And like I can't help but wonder if like that was intentional to like try and slip that under our noses, because it works. It didn't set off a red flag, because there's a lot of guys who just are fucking into that kind of shit.
Yeah, which not to kink shame, but that is one that I've never quite understood.
It gets to be this like weird blurred line when it comes to like kink shaming and also like trying to understand and work against like these sort of like societal ills, you know what I mean? Like
there's a lot to unpack from that one.
Maybe more than we're ready to unpack right this moment.
Yeah.
But it was telling to me that like this is this guy who mentions outright that he has a 17-year-old daughter and also has like, you know, the prostitutes that he is a client of refer to him as daddy, and like that didn't set off an alarm in my head.
You know? That's funny. Well, it's like a good mystery, you know. It's like you can solve it before it is revealed, right? And then that just makes that revelation like, that's good. So but instead of it's like
it's deeply unsettling,
because it's like such like a movie tragic thing where it's like she's got her little CD, she's like, ooh, I made a thing for my dad, I'm so happy for his birthday, and then she finds something on the desktop like, what's this? Oh, he's spying on me, like he put a camera in my room, so he could take pictures of me naked. Like
I had a thought. I wasn't like, I mean, obviously it's like the implication seems to be that like it is very much an incestuous obsession kind of thing. Not even the implication, obviously it is, but like I had a thought, like, because you know he's really hurting for money. I was like, is he selling images of his daughter or something like that? And maybe that's an aspect
maybe
of it.
both.
Maybe, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen the show. Because he's down bad for money, you know.
He is the worst.
He is, and he's the fucking worst.
It's funny too with the way that 6 kind of also reframes the 4th episode with the cop guy, because it's like, it seems like to me like every other episode takes place over the course of like a week or two. And that's what I assumed for Cop Guy, where it's like he does all these robberies, but like you see in episode 6 that the teenage daughter, when she's younger, is inside the house that's being built during episode 4.
Yeah.
So unless he rebuilt the house or something, unless he rebuilt the house, you're seeing like episode 4 is across like maybe a year or so, instead of like a couple weeks like the rest of the episodes.
You could be right, yeah. I guess I don't really know like where the timestamp is when he like we see that scene of him looking at the frame of the house being built.
Yeah, because you're looking at the house being built, and then in episode 6 you see a slightly younger version of the 17-year-old in like her own room in the house, and also the house is being destroyed. Yeah, and they're in like their pajamas and whatnot, implying that they live inside the house instead of are visiting or something.
Yeah. No, you might. Yeah, it sounds like I think you're right there.
So it's interesting because it's not super clear, and it's not super necessary that it takes place over a year or something.
I don't even know how long it takes to build a house. Like, you do that in a month? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point.
Well, I'll say this: I work adjacent to construction, and I've seen plans for like, say, like an apartment complex that take like a year. So if an apartment complex took a year, it's not that surprising to me if a house took like a few weeks to a month.
Well, it's a thing in Japan too, I believe, that like when you buy a house, you're supposed to buy like a new house. So they tear down old houses and build new ones in their place.
That is completely news to me, but I mean, I have no reason to doubt that.
I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But I believe that's a thing. Like, whereas here, obviously, like, you buy, a house from like the 70s or whatever.
I'd buy
in a lot of places in Japan, you buy like the lot that a house is on from the 70s, and you tear down the house and build a new one.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the houses are kind of built with the intention that in like 50 years they're going to be torn back down and rebuilt.
Sure, that makes sense. So I don't know shit about Japanese real estate.
Yeah. But come on, get up, get your game going. Come on.
I'm never gonna grow up. I'm never gonna learn about Japanese real estate practices.
Well, it's funny because I feel like I know that one little tidbit, which I'm pretty sure I'm right about, and I'm
not gonna.
That's more than I know about like American real estate. Like everybody's like, you need to buy a house eventually. I'm like, I guess.
Yeah, my dad tells me that sometimes. When are you gonna buy a house? When they stop costing so fucking much.
I stopped living in California.
Yeah, it's a good fucking point. Episode 6. There's the old lady.
There's the old
lady, and she says that she's talking to the detectives, and she says that she misses her granddaughter, and then we cut to
the 17-year-old.
The 17-year-old, and I guess Kuleshov effect. We assume that is the same person.
Yeah,
that the 17-year-old daughter is that lady's granddaughter.
Yeah, and then we learn at the end that it's some other person.
That one is named Midori. Her granddaughter's named Midori. I remember that just because that's the Japanese word for the color green.
That's funny.
I was like, oh, her name's Green. Neat. That's a nice name. I like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. Well, and it's another example of the show kind of playing with our perception of reality.
Yeah. Yeah, we make that assumption instantly.
Yeah.
And then, so we were wrong. We were completely wrong.
It makes me wonder, like, what else have we gotten wrong about the show at this point,
And this is one where, like, Cohn might just be a little too smart for me. It seems like there is some sort of, like, connection or implied connection or, like, similarity or something between the daughter, who's running away from the terrible cop dad, and the old lady. Because, like, they have so many, like, there's moments where, like, say the old lady's going through garbage and the daughter walks right past her. There's the moment where, like, the old lady falls into the river and the daughter sees her and sees herself as the old person for a moment.
Yeah.
And there's, like, all these moments where, like, it seems like there's some sort of connection they're trying to communicate to us. And I'm just too fucking dumb to know what it is.
Well, and it's kind of like a broader connection between all of the characters too. Like the detectives know to go to the old lady because the little slugger, potentially the little slugger impersonator, is like, oh, I needed to get to the next level where I would meet the old hag or something like that. And the detectives know, oh, that has to mean that old lady that was brought up in like the first episode or whatever. So there's like, what's their connection?
There is some weird shit going on because there's the old guy in the first couple episodes at the hospital who is like through these wild and crazy mathematical equations coming up with numbers relating to the first two victims. He writes 510 for the room that Tsukiko is in the hospital, and then the next episode he comes up with the solution of 1 for Ichi. So like, don't know what's going on with that guy. I did end up seeing, actually, there was like a post-credits, like, next time on Paranoia agent thing that is narrated by that old guy, but he's in a suit. So I don't know.
He's got some kind of importance too, because I think it was in the 3rd or 4th episode. He's like, he talks about a butterfly, and you can kind of apply a butterfly.
Like a butterfly effect kind of thing.
Well, yeah. Yeah, maybe a butterfly effect kind of thing.
Were you talking about like metamorphosis?
Yeah, I was thinking metamorphosis, but I think butterfly effect might kind of be more accurate because you do have all these characters who are like, I don't know who that is, but they have kind of interacted with each other sort of incidentally. Like maybe not through like actually like talking to each other, but just because this guy was in this place, his daughter is over here, and now they're all like they try to make it seem like they're not connected, but I think everybody is in a very indirect kind of way.
The only disconnect, I think, because Ichi knows Harumi, and Harumi, what was it? There's what's her name? Tsukiko knows Kawazu, who gets attacked. And then like there's a break there, but then Ichi knows Harumi, and Harumi meets the police guy, I think, at some point. And then the police guy, like everybody knows each other through some way or another. The only disconnect is between Kawazu and Ichi. Like when that, like Kawazu gets attacked, Ichi gets attacked, they don't know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess they both kind of know each other through the detectives in a way. Which is
Yeah,
kind
I
of a
guess
cop out a little bit.
I guess that's like a chicken and the... That's good. It's cop out. I guess that's kind of like a chicken and the egg situation there. It's like they know each other because of the crime, but the crime is because they know each other.
Well, and there's not an impossible chance that in future episodes that that Sagi is going to be revealed like, oh, she does know Ichi or the other kid.
Quite possible.
You know?
Quite possible.
Just kind of bring them all together.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on with the show. The kind of interconnectivity of the people, the perception of reality and what's real and what's, and also dealing with realizing that reality is not what you think it is.
Totally.
You know?
And you like towards the end of the episode, the detective, the grizzled detective, tells Tsukiko that he has a witness saying that the old lady saying that Tsukiko was alone in that parking lot when she supposedly got attacked by Lil Slugger. And then at the very end of, or like at the same time that's happening, rather, Lil Slugger attacks the daughter, the 17-year-old, who then wakes up with amnesia, which seems like a really bad situation for her.
Terrible situation for her.
Because she doesn't know that her dad is spying on her.
Well, and her whole thing was like, I just want to forget. I mean, obviously, to a certain degree, she wants to go back to the innocence that she had when she believed her dad was a good guy. And in a sick way, she has. But her dad's still a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where... That's not the ending I want for her.
No.
I was kind of hoping she'd just like find somewhere to live and just not have to talk to her dad.
Yeah.
Again.
I mean, that's what you want. But
yeah, it's what you want.
It's the Halloween episode, so it's scary. It's
never
spooky.
that easy.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about in any of the specific episodes?
No. I think we got it.
Well, then let's do our obligatory rating system. I can't imagine what we'll rate it.
Fucking garbage.
Yep.
Hate this goddamn show. It's a piece of shit. I watched it all the way through once, and if I could take back that time that I spent watching, I would.
It has a problematic police officer, and so it's actually a bad show.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a bad show.
Yikes, unfollowing now. Big fan of his police work. Didn't realize that he was so problematic.
Man, I'm gonna have to tell Satoshi Kon to like just tone it back. I'm gonna write him a letter.
I'm gonna be honest. I think he's canceled. I think
he's canceled out of this one. Yeah, I agree.
If he comes out with another movie, I've just made myself sad.
Oh, I know.
Rest in peace, Satoshi Kon. Gone far too fucking soon. What a goddamn visionary.
I know.
There's always like a disclaimer I have to put on like when I recommend his stuff to anybody. It's like, watch Paprika. It's got some like amazing visuals, kind of fat phobic. And then watch Perfect Blue, but be aware that there's a lot of rape scenes. Like it's just like everything is like got this like butt. Like there's going to be something that you're gonna rub up against. But like maybe that's what makes him interesting is the fact that his stuff deals with uncomfortable topics. I don't know.
You know what's funny is when you were like you're talking about like, oh, there's always these caveats or whatever. I was expecting you to say like, oh, you're gonna love his stuff. It's really good. But he's dead, so it's like that's the end of his stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I guess he does have about every stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Check out Huckleberry Finn, but you should know Mark Twain died. He's dead. Yeah, you're not going to be able to. Sherlock Holmes, dope, but
I feel like his stuff is like so much more interesting than it is problematic, and it is, and in the ways 100%. That it's problematic, it's more interesting than somebody else covering the same topic.
Yeah.
Right? Like Tokyo Godfathers has a trans character in it, and that character gets called a lot of rude things throughout the show.
A lot.
Or not the show, the movie. And there's some problematic issues there and whatnot, but like that character is treated really well and gets backstory and an understanding, and in the end, you know, everybody kind of comes together and everything. So, and there's no part where they're like, you know what, I'm not trans anymore. You know, I've recovered. You know, like it's there's a lot going on in that, and I think it's all of his stuff. Any sort of issues I think somebody could have, it's like it completely overcomes it for the most part. Unless this is such a sticking point for somebody, all of his works are just like the best. Like,
I think you're right. Yeah. Like because you could say the same thing about like, you know, the rape stuff in Perfect Blue is like it's there for a reason, and it does a lot to give us a visual into like the mind of the main character and what she's going through, and it was like this really great metaphor of what's going on, blah blah blah. I guess the one that I can't come up with a good defense for is like that character in Paprika who is just this like he's just this like caricature of like a really obese person, and like it's played for a joke like a lot for seemingly no reason.
Well, that's the guy who like he like kidnaps her, and then also like
that's the guy who created the headband thingy, right?
Maybe I don't remember him particularly well.
He's the one that like there's the scene where they're in the restaurant, and then like the server like comes out, and it's like, I have this stack of pancakes, and he goes like, oh, that's me, and then they come back and they're like, I have these hot dogs, and he's like, that's also me, and they just keep coming back with food, and like you think it's gonna be for somebody else at the table, but it's him over and over again. Like there's a part where he can't fit through a door because he's just so goddamn fat, like stuff like that.
Right.
Where I'm like, I don't see how this adds to it. I don't see how this reflects any of the other themes in the story. It just sounds like you wanted to write in a fat guy and make fun of him a bunch, and that's not the worst offense in the world, I guess, but also like it feels uncharacteristically shitty.
And after such a progressive view of weeaboos and overweight animators in Paranoia.
Exactly.
No, I'm with. That makes sense.
We got the ultimate Sigma male in that guy, in the Paranoia agent guy, and then we got this fucking beta ass cuck dude or whatever. I don't know.
No, that's
it's Delta male, Gamma male. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's one of those things that I always got to let people know, like, it's great, except if you have a particular squick around this.
Yeah.
And maybe that makes it better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm definitely, I don't mean to condemn his work by any means. I think it's
no,
all
I know
phenomenal.
You're not like, no, don't watch Paprika.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually
because Paprika fucking rules.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah. And we didn't mention, but Tokyo Godfather is also really good. I don't remember if there's anything problematic in that, but a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's the trans lady we were talking about, but otherwise.
Did I say Tokyo Godfather? I meant Millennium Actress.
We didn't talk about Millennium Actress. I actually haven't seen Millennium Actress.
Oh, it's good.
I think that's the last Cone movie for me to watch.
I think it's maybe the one that like sticks out the least. Obviously, we brought it up last.
Yeah,
it's still good. Okay. Like the guy can't really do wrong in my book. So.
No, yeah.
And Paranoia Agent is absolutely excellent. I feel silly for not finishing it. I feel like part of it is like, not to give myself too much of an excuse, but like once I finish Paranoia Agent, I've watched all of Satoshi Kon's stuff.
Oh, that's like the last.
Yeah, like I can rewatch Perfect Blue. It's a great movie, but like I've seen it. I know what's gonna happen and all that, and the guy just makes such great work that to like once I finish these episodes, which I'll do, man, that's it. You know, I almost cried at like a Satoshi Kon like panel that some guy was giving.
Oh man,
it was just like it was a retrospective on all of the worksy stuff. I'm like, it's so good. The movies are so good. I was a little drunk, but it was so good.
Yeah,
the guy's great.
He was a real fucking titan of the industry. He's gone way too soon. Like just it sucks. It sucks to see creators of such amazing things die so young. You know, him and Kentaro Miura and Nijaves and too many people making great things and then die. And not to say that their value of their life comes from the works that they make, but like, I don't know, it just sucks.
Yeah, well, it sucks because it's like you're on a roll. Like, you don't want somebody to just keep going and keep making like trash or whatever.
Sure.
But like, it's like, oh, we could have had another one, you know?
Yeah, and that's I guess that's like kind of the selfish aspect of it is like we could have gotten another Satoshi Kon movie, you know?
Yeah.
We could have gotten another Nijaves album. We could have had another J Dilla beat tape, you know? There's like so many things that we don't get to see because that person died, but also like the more important thing is that person is, you know, didn't get to live the rest of their life.
Yeah, well, I think that's fair, but I think it's also like, I think art makes the world a better place, and so the more good artists putting more good art out there, like the better the world arguably is, you know. So all of Satoshi Kon's movies have like made me feel a certain way, and I've just like either like joy or thought provoking and all that, and you know, the idea that there could be another one of those is like, you know, because obviously I didn't know the guy personally, so obviously him dying is obviously a bummer, but my relationship to him is through the art that he created.
Totally,
and he made some great art.
He sure did. Yeah, no, I definitely see what you mean. Like, Perfect Blue in particular, like had I guess a big like impact on me in that like, it. Not to say that I struggled with this in particular, but I feel like that is what really made me understand what a parasocial relationship was and how unhealthy it was. Like, I've never been a stalker of a celebrity by any means, but like when I saw that movie, it made me think like, oh, well, these people are just people and they got their own shit going on. And like, you know, if I see them as just this 2-dimensional, like, you know, portrait of like this thing I like, then that is a disservice to both of us.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I think that that's helped me navigate, especially nowadays where like the barrier between us and people who create things like music and movies and stuff like that is so thin. Like when we have social media and Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where you can comment on something that, you know, some crazy big celebrity posts and there's a possibility they'll comment back, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I don't want to say like my view of Satoshi Kon is like, oh, he should have just been an art missionary or whatever. Because,
sure.
But it does make you really also like appreciate like the people who are artists when you see them like in that way, like yeah, like that parasocial relationship is there where people are just there because they either like, I need them as a friend or I need to use them for their connections or something. And what you really get, what we should be getting is like, no, they're people, they're working on things, and these things take time.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember their Twitter handle, but it was a person who worked on like Skullgirls and that RPG Indivisible or something.
Yeah. Who continue?
But yeah, they're I think it's like Kino Cakes or something.
Kinuko, I think her name
Kinuko,
is.
maybe.
Yeah. She was the art director.
Yeah.
Fuck Mike Z. The guy sucks.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. But seeing like some of the flack that she would get and whatnot, like through Twitter, and like seeing this person as like a person where it's like games take a while to make.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just like donate to Kickstarter and then 6 months later get the game that you were promised.
Yeah.
You know? Like it doesn't work that way.
Totally. And she does great work. Like she's fantastic.
Yeah.
And like
great artist.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like game devs like get that, like, you know, maybe some of the hardest. Like, God, poor like Masahiro Sakurai, the director of Smash Bros. You know, like ever since
He had to put Sora into Smash Brothers.
Hey,
I don't know if you
put
heard.
Sora into Smash Bros.
Just
like,
what a nightmare existence.
Yes.
See, I flipped it. It's funny now.
You see, it's good. Well, like when they opened the floodgates, when Brawl came out and it had Solid Snake and Sonic the Hedgehog in it, which great. But like when they did that, it opened the floodgates. Now, if Solid Snake and Sonic can be in there, anybody can be in there. And once that happened, people, and like, you know, I'm of the old internet, right? Like, you know, I was on game FAQs in like 2004 or whatever, where people were like, what if they put fucking like Cloud Strife and Smash? Wouldn't that be fucking crazy, dude?
That sounds crazy.
You know? And then they did, like years later, right? And then like, but once that happened, it's like, we gotta put, you gotta put Crash Bandicoot, you gotta put Gino from Mario RPG, you gotta put Master Chief, you gotta put Doom Guy, you gotta put the Tetris L Block, you gotta put every fucking video game character I've ever liked in this goddamn video game you're making. And that guy just got nonstop like death threats and like just angry fucking shit for like a decade or some shit, because he had the balls to make a game people liked and then also be on the internet. Those are the sins that man has committed.
Yeah, I mean that's I feel like the greatest asset that we have right now is that we've never made anything that good.
Yep.
You know, this podcast will never reach Smash Brothers or Paprika levels of quality.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, which is sad for you, the listener, but great for us.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking coming for us.
Yeah, unfortunately for you.
Yeah.
21 subscribers, baby.
Woo.
Most of them people we know, or in the last few, probably bots, honestly. It's probably sex bots.
I'll take it.
Hey, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us those views.
Speaking of subscribers and all that, let's get to plugs.
Sure.
I'll just throw this out there because it seems to work so far. If you made it this far in the podcast and you like it, we're on Podbean. You can go to I think it's battlesschooldropouts.podbean.com. Listen to stuff there. There's an RSS feed if you want to add it to your phone and all that. I can't get it to work on iTunes. I'm so sorry, everyone.
It is what it is.
So there's that. We're on YouTube too, which is where we posted most of our stuff and where most of the following and comments are. So you can subscribe there if you want more of this stuff. Bakari, how can people find you?
You can go on my Twitter, twitter.com/ or at 8mammoth, the number 8, and then mammoth, MAMMOTH, like the prehistoric animal. It changed my at recently.
When I went to tag you when we posted the last episode, I was like typing in like at BAK. I'm like, where the fuck is he?
Well, so
and it was funny because I just edited the episode where I heard you say 8 mammoth. Yeah. So I double fucked up.
I went to make myself, I was like, okay, I got to start making more music. I've got to release tracks now. Like, let's be a little more official about this. So I went to make a new Twitter profile as my artist account. And then part way through that process, I was like, I'm so bored. So I just took my personal Twitter and changed the at and the name on it. And that's my artist account now. So here we go. Octomammoth. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 mammoth.
8 mammoth. Yeah. Octomammoth was taken.
Yeah, bastard.
I had that URL at one point, and then I think I deleted that Twitter because I wasn't using it. I'm an idiot.
That's a huge mistake.
I am fucking stupid.
Well, you can follow me if I unlock my Twitter at Hentai Pizza Lord. I'm keeping it locked on the off chance that people who I'm applying to jobs for are checking my Twitter account, which is just full of cum jokes and dumb bullshit. So, assuming that's passed, you can follow me there.
There you go.
And that's probably the main place. And then, like I said, just subscribe to YouTube or whatever. That's, if you want more of this fucking these guys, that's what you need to do.
That's the place to go. Yeah. You can also listen to my music, soundcloud.com/octomammoth, OCTO mammoth. It's the same way you spelled it the last time.
I know we say it every time, but it's good fucking music.
Hey, thank you.
You do the intro, the outro, and the little interlude music that's been in the last couple episodes.
Quite so.
It's all real fucking good stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. As the guy who does the visual sides of stuff, it was really fun with the intro to have I love editing to good music, which sounds dumb, but I've edited to bad music and I'm like, this sucks. But having a good beat that inspires you to ooh, I can put a thing here, I can do this, I can I'm sometimes there's music that's so good you see I see visuals
right,
and I think your music hits that point for me. And
it's a fucking killer intro. I've just sat there and watched it on repeat many times. Maybe too many times.
It's pretty sick. If I could toot my own horn. And I'll just throw this out there. In the description of the YouTube video, you can check out Bernadette. She's helped out with the podcast. She says hi, everybody.
Yeah. Shout out to all the Bernadette out there.
All of Bernadette. She does... there's handwritten elements on the YouTube video and whatnot, and she does all that stuff. Yeah. So she's a graphic designer. Go check out her stuff. Her Instagram handle and all that is in the description on the YouTube video.
Hell yeah.
So go check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we did the Halloween episode.
We fucking did it. Happy Halloween.
Yeah. So the next episode, because of COVID that we mentioned earlier, we ran into a couple snags. So either the next episode is going to be the HAJIME no IPPO episode, or it's going to be Serial Experiment Lane. If the HAJIME no IPPO episode somehow comes out before this one.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you mean. I was like, is Lane skipping the line? But no. Yeah. This one might skip.
The goal in October.
One of them might skip the line.
The goal in October is to release HAJIME no IPPO and Halloween.
Yes.
Ideally, we should release the Halloween episode later in the month.
That makes sense.
But who fucking knows since COVID's the thing.
Yeah.
So.
you know,
and we got guests on both the episodes, so it makes things a little more complicated.
Yeah, and it being late October when we're recording this, because it doesn't take us several weeks to put out an episode. That's you know, who knows when that's going to line up? Who knows? Yeah.
But so watch both shows. I know Hajime no Ippo is great. I know less about Serial Experiment Lane. So.
This might be foolish, but I might have mentioned this to you before. So Serial Experiments Lane, there was an anime and also a PlayStation 1 game.
You have brought that up. Yeah.
And the PS1 game is translated in English and available to play on browser. And it is my hope to play through that before we record. Doubt it'll happen, but hey, maybe it will. Who knows?
Anything's possible.
I
try to read. I've tried for like 2 episodes now to like read the manga before we get into the episodes as well.
Oh, like of the past. You tried to read X-Arm?
I didn't read X-Arm. I meant to, but I didn't. But then I tried to read Hanasaku, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I was like, Paranoia Agent. I'm like, wait, no, I think that's an original idea. There's no manga.
Yeah, no, I think that came out as an anime and a game simultaneously, weirdly enough.
So maybe Hajime no Ippo will be the one. I want to say Serial Experiments Lane does not have a manga. But
I don't think it does.
That could be very wrong.
Could be. I think... Yeah, the game and the anime came out at the same time pretty much, and like have kind of different. They go down different paths, kind of. Okay. So I'm curious to see.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, you play it in a browser. Who knows?
Played in a browser, yeah, which is fucking nice.
That is really nice.
Yeah,
big fan of that.
All right, well that's the end of this episode. Thanks for listening to this Halloween spooky episode.
You scared yet? I'm scared.
Ooh, yeah. We should start thinking now, because we don't. What fucking Halloween episode are we going to do next year? Because I love these holiday episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even give a shit that the Christmas episode put me in such a good mood. I don't even care if it's our least viewed episode.
That was a lot of fun. I love the grab bag idea.
Yeah.
If there were like Halloween special anime episodes, then I'd say we should do a grab bag episode. There's not. So
yeah, not enough.
I'd be interested in doing something like really like grim, dark, like fucked up in a stupid way kind of thing.
Okay.
Like I'd love to, like, if the new Higurashi is any good, I could be interested in doing that. Maybe by that point next year we'll be able to like we'll have a production schedule that allow, or like, you know, we'll be committed enough to this to watch more than 6 episodes, and we can just like watch the whole Higurashi thing, and then
there you go.
Yeah, because that's dumb in a really fun way, I think.
Well, then that's on you, viewer. Get us popular enough that we can afford to do more of this stuff.
Sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/battlesschooldropouts. And then when that doesn't load, just Venmo me $5.
Yeah. Venmo one of us.
Yes, one of us. Venmo one of us $5.
I want that money.
Yeah, I need it. It's real bad.
Hell yeah.
Okay.